Now, we've been having a couple internet issues, so before I really get started, I want to make sure we're live. I suppose I could put the ticker up, because I have nothing else to use that space for over there. Where's the ticker? There it is. There it is. Excuse me. And that's barely visible. Hang on. There we go. What I need is for this to not be so horrible. So here we are, Skyrim. That'll do. I have nothing else to do with this space over here. So whatever, we'll just have that going, because I don't know what else to do with it. It's kind of distracting, screw it. We'll just have a big empty blue space. Everyone's cool with that, right? I hate streaming 16:9 games. Hi, guys! How's the audio volume? Because it's a little different than Oblivion was. It's about as loud as it's ever going to get right here. Where's options? Is there seriously no options? You gotta be kidding me. I guess we'll mess with the audio later, because I literally can't right now. Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. This is my last time playing Skyrim. I have no intention or desire to play Skyrim after this, because while Skyrim is a game I enjoy, while it is a net positive game, it's not a game I really consider to be that good. Not compared to other games that I could mention, including the one we just finished playing. And that's just my honest opinion. Now, I'll be discussing some of the specifics of why I feel that way as we go throughout the game. But I do want to say something right at the beginning here. While this is a flawed game, while this is a game that has significant issues in it, and again, I'll be discussing those, I feel like bashing this game has gotten a little bit too memey. You know what I mean? Kind of like, well, most other things that are popular to make fun of or look down upon or otherwise bash. So, I mean, I'm not telling anyone in chat to lie or not give any negative connotations. God damn it, do I have to reboot that too? Hang on. Like, if you have a negative complaint about this, I'm not telling you to keep it quiet. But just try to hold back on the bashing thing. You know what I'm talking about. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Just rein it in a bit. That's all I'm asking. Let's be civil about this, okay? There's no need to walk in and be like, oh, look, it's the worst game ever made. Or, oh, look, it's Skyrim, the game that wants to be an Elder Scrolls. You know, there's no need for that here. You don't have to like this game, and you don't have to love this game, but we can at least be civil about it, okay? That being said, I do want to start this off. I made a small list of things that I noticed most people don't talk about that Skyrim did that actually really helped make the gameplay of the Elder Scrolls series move forward in a positive manner. First of all, bounties are tracked almost completely separately, and the way that the wanted level works, not in the circles I frequent for Belta, holy crap. I'm sorry, quick anecdote. I once had to make a rule that we couldn't discuss Elder Scrolls in general during one particular restream, because it was getting so bad how much people were bashing Skyrim. Anyways, so they did bounties and tracking of the wanted level much better, rather than the Oblivion method, which is basically just guards have this insane, it's like 2,000 units, which is almost the width of an entire town. Guards have this insane psychic ability to know if you've done anything wrong, and could literally detect you no matter what, under certain circumstances. I mean, you guys saw me. I was sometimes literally invisible, thanks to Chameleon, and in the floor, and they would still find me, to a much more reasonable radius depending on sound and other factors like lighting and whatnot. Also, bounties are tracked per region. Now, not per city, but per region. So if I was to start messing stuff up in, I forget the name of the town, the first town you get to, then I would have a wanted level in Winter... God, I can never think the name of it. It's the city I actually like. The first city you get to. So, I feel that was a definitive improvement, and it actually helps if you're doing a thief, sneaky kind of a playthrough. Level scaling. Thank you. Yes, Riverwood and Whiterun. God. Sorry. Level scaling was done better, at least with regards to the enemies, because what was done in this game was enemies are given bracketed level scaling. So rather than the Oblivion problem and the Fallout 3 problem, where you'd walk around and you'd see a bandit outside of the Imperial City in Daedric armor, you know, that's the old meme, right? Instead, you'd find a bandit in probably like steel armor, because they could only go up to a certain level. They were bracketed. So if you're level 30, they can only go up to level 5, for example. And I do feel that helped significantly with making the level scaling a little less terrible. Still not as good as, you know, no level scaling, but that was a definite improvement over Oblivion. Durability was removed entirely, which I think is an overwhelmingly positive change. The fact that I no longer have to worry about either going to a guy and getting stuff repaired or hammer, hammer, hammer as you're doing that. That's kind of awesome. Yes, Hourglass, that's your thing now. You are secretly Sith dude on Tatooine. They made it so that anyone can do basic power attacks in the melee mode, but if you unlock certain perks, you get what are effectively special attacks. And while the melee combat still isn't what I'd call good, because melee combat has never been a good thing in the Elder Scrolls series, it did add some flexibility and dynamicness to melee rather than strike, block, or power strike in one direction, in one of the three directions, and that's all you had. Speaking of which, dual wielding. Now, I want to talk more about dual wielding later, because dual wielding is kind of a complicated situation. But the mere fact that dual wielding exists in this game as an option, in my opinion, was a definitive positive. The fact that I can have a sword and a sword, or a sword and a shield, or a sword and an axe, or a sword and a spell. Pretty definitive. That's an awesome feature right there, in my opinion, and offers some great modularity, if not for some other problems, which we'll get to later. We're still in the positive range here. The game also allows you to track more than one quest at a time. First time they've ever let you do this. Now, there are some other issues with the quest design in this game, but at the very least, the fact that you can say, man, I want to do these 3 quests, track, then you can do that. You can actually do that and be able to do more than one thing at once rather than having to, you know, in ESO hitting T or, you know, being like, okay, hang on, where's this guy go? You know, that kind of a thing. All of these things are things that aren't really often talked about, which is why I wanted to bring them up. And in my opinion, pretty nice positives, you know, things they added to the franchise. I want to comment on one other thing really quick, just a personal story. I was really hyped for Skyrim. Were any of you guys? Honest question. You don't have to lie. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I was hyped for Skyrim. When I saw that trailer playing the song we just listened to, oh my god. I was just like goosebumps, you know? Goosebumps. I was just like, yes! I was so excited. Oh, it was great. I was so pumped. I really was. You know? They did a great job with that trailer. Waiting a year was torture. Although 11/11/11 was rather apropos, I have to admit. November 11th, 2011. Now, I also have to share one little anecdote, and you're going to make fun of me for this, because one of the this is pretty much the most recent time, 2011, well actually 2010, when I saw a gameplay trailer and actually thought it was pre-rendered cinematic. I've talked about this before with some earlier games. Famously, I've mentioned this about Mass Effect 1 a few times. But this is the most recent time that I have ever been tricked by something that I thought was pre-rendered and was in fact being done in the game engine. And that's the Skyrim trailer that they showed. Because for a decent portion of it, I'm just like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay, wait, is that in engine? I was actually watching it with a friend of mine at the time, and we both had basically the same reaction. Is this in engine? It's just weird to think about because it's been about 8 years now, closer to 7 years actually, since something like that has been able to catch me graphics-wise. But it certainly did. It got me. It's like, that's the engine. That's what the game's actually gonna look like. Holy crap! Yeah, Catabo. Now it was scripted, obviously. But it was done in engine. Nowadays, I look at an in-engine scripted thing, and I'm like, yeah, okay, give me gameplay. Last time it caught me was this game. I also want to comment on one thing really quick here. I hate the intro of Skyrim. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to disparage anyone's opinions. I'm not here to talk down, and I know I just said no bashing Skyrim, but I have a deep personal vendetta against the intro of Skyrim. It's very, very long. It's basically impossible to skip, and I legitimately feel it's badly designed from both a gameplay and a narrative perspective. It's not a good intro, and I hate it. And I just wanted to get that out right up front, because there are several aspects of this game I really enjoy. The intro is not one of them. But I do want to talk about this really quick, because I know that, what are they called? Extra Credits actually did a whole thing discussing how bad the intro was. But I didn't actually know about that until I started doing my own discussion about how bad I felt the intro was. I'm debating literally going ahead and playing the intro and just kind of pointing out all the things it does wrong as we go. I know this won't be new to some of my regular viewers, so I apologize for the repetition. But I also don't want to come across as too negative. But I also want to mention this as something that kind of ties in back to the very first time I was going to play this game. Very first time, I sat down, I'm like, yeah, play the intro. Okay. What I'm trying to say is that I didn't like the intro even the first time I played it. I thought some parts of it were cool, absolutely. But as I'm going through it, I was just like, oh, really? Okay. Now, I'm sorry, one other thing I do want to add here, just really quick. Skyrim mod support is amazing. And in my opinion, it's easily its biggest selling point. If there's one thing I could point to definitively and as close to objectively as I could get that is superior in Skyrim to all the other Elder Scrolls series, it is that mod support. Because while there have always been lots of mods for Morrowind, people are still modding Morrowind, and people are still modding Oblivion, the sheer overwhelming amount and quality and types of mods for Skyrim are through the damned roof. It's actually insane how much you can mod Skyrim, and that is awesome. So that is a huge, huge plus, I have to absolutely say. And the only negative thing I could say about modding in Skyrim is the thing you could see in the upper right there. Don't join the Creation Club. So, yeah. Anyways, so let me pull up chat. Let me pull up the game. So yeah, I'm gonna discuss this intro as we go. If you don't want to hear me speak criticism of this game, come back in about 10 minutes. It's gonna take a while. Here's Alduin. Looks cool. Why wouldn't I be, Anthony? First problem, right off the bat. There's nothing to look at. Now, I'm interrupting now because this is true throughout this whole thing. Trust me, I've watched this intro like 30 times, especially over the last month as I've been setting up for this lore run. So, again, there's nothing to see here. As you look around Skyrim, as you look around, the game goes out of its way to take control away from the player. Now, anytime you're designing a sequence where you take control away from the player, you have to present something that makes that worthwhile, okay? Usually developers do that to do a very specific type of scripted sequence, which makes sense. But I really don't want to use Call of Duty as the example here, but it's a very example. The beginning of Modern Warfare 1, you have a sequence where control is taken away from you. All you can do is tilt the camera around just like this, just like this. So all you have is your immediate view. But there is nothing to see here. There are trees, rocks, and the fog, and the other people in the cart with you who are talking, and that is it. No visual information is presented whatsoever. So automatically the player, this is probably one of the worst types of railroading when it comes to game design. This is the type where if you take your hands off the keyboard, nothing is changed or made better or worse, okay? No, Anthony, absolutely not. Now, to use Modern Warfare 1, I hate to do this, but it is a great example. While control is taken away from you, as you're capable of looking around, you can see things. Information is presented to you. You watch people fighting and struggling and dying. You watch the people who are being executed up against the walls. You see the tanks who are moving through there. You can see the people who are broadcasting this on TV. Information, most notably story-relevant information, is being presented to you. And it's not just fluff. That's important. I'm not saying I want big flashy lights. I'm saying I want something to be done with it. If I closed my eyes and took my hands off the keyboard for this initial part of the intro while we're on the carriage, nothing would change. Because I'm not seeing anything of relevance, and I can't do anything at all. Half-Life's 1 intro is something else I could discuss, but that's a slightly more complicated thing. Basically, I would say Half-Life is not as bad as this, but not as good as it could be done. We've discussed that before. So, now, I don't like to criticize without also giving suggestion. So, suggestions. Why not make it so that as we're togging along, instead of going through a random bit of road in the Rocky Mountains here, not Colorado, imagine if we were going along and we were going through an urban section or a suburbia area, and there were people on the streets, some of whom are looking at us like, yeah, and some of whom are just can't quite, do that. Maybe have a few people chatting as we're going by in the background. You just, oh my God, is that him? Is that him? Present something that we could engage ourselves in and look at while we're getting the necessary exposition from the characters, right? Yeah, refugees, that's another excellent one. Have Imperial troops marching around in battle formation since they're in the middle of a war, and they just captured the leader of the enemy force, right? You see where I'm going with this general idea, and this is what I say about the criticism here. You could do something with this here rather than make this completely insignificant. Now, made my point there. Sorry, I'm trying really hard not to let my hatred of this scene seethe through. I am really trying hard. Most of the reason I hate this scene is because I had to do it like 30 times over the last month, and I'm so goddamn tired of it. So I'm trying to be as objective as I can here. Let's move on to our next point. There's no music, which bothers me, but that's a problem in Skyrim in general.
Hey, you're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us. And that thief over there.
Damn you Stormcloaks. Skyrim was fine until you came along. Empire was nice and lazy. If they hadn't been looking for you, could have stolen that horse and been halfway to Hammerfell. You there, you and me, we shouldn't be here. It's these Stormcloaks the Empire wants.
We're all brothers and sisters in binds now, thief.
Let me go ahead and say that I do like Ralof, by the way. That's actually really easy for me to say. Of the various characters we interact with in this intro, there are two I like, and he is one of them. So credit for their credit is due. He's also probably the only Nordic voice that I like in this whole game. That's just an opinion. I'm not giving it as a criticism. I'm just saying I like him. So he was a good intro to the Nord mindset, or the Nord personality, I guess is the way I want to put that.
Shut up back there.
And of course,
What's
Balthier.
wrong with him, huh?
Watch your tongue. You're speaking to Ulfric Stormcloak, the true High King.
Ulfric, the Jarl of Windhelm? You're the leader of the rebellion.
That being said, this guy, I don't even know his freaking name off the top of my head. Oh, it's Lokir. That's right there. Lokir's voice actor is bad. Now, I'm sorry. I know it's Elder Scrolls. Yeah, we all know about bad voice acting. I'll give you two more examples of bad voice acting by him later, but he's just a little bit too flat for almost all of this. He doesn't sound like a desperate thief who's about to be executed. He sounds like a guy who's running through a Looney Tunes cartoon. I'll discuss more about that later.
But if they captured you... Oh, gods. Where are they taking us?
And yeah, the Imperial, who's actually right back there, by the way, Hadavir, I think. He's the other guy I like from the intro.
I don't know where we're going, but Sovngarde awaits.
No, this can't be happening. This isn't happening.
Hey, what village are you from, horse thief?
Why do you care?
A Nord's last thoughts should be of home.
Oh yeah, right. I can actually access settings now. Sorry. Let's try to fix the audio here. So, wow, voice is cranked. Yikes. If the audio is still overall smaller, I can just turn it up on OBS. So let me know if this is too quiet, because Skyrim in general is a lot quieter than the previous games.
Rorikstead. I'm from Rorikstead.
General Tullius, sir. The headsman is waiting.
Good. Let's get this over with.
You know, I like him, but I don't really like him as Tullius.
Kinnarev, Akatosh, Divines, please help me.
That's the first of the two lines he does that are legitimately bad, in my opinion, right there. That does not sound like someone desperately praying for salvation from deities that may or may not exist at the last second. That sounds like someone just, like, yep, sure, Mara, Dibella, Karaneth, Akatosh, Divines, please help me. Just wanted to point it out. And where is she? Oh, she's going to be over there, isn't she?
Look at him. General Tullius.
So that, obviously it's not going to tell me her name, but that's someone we'll be encountering a few times. That's basically the Thalmor attached to the Imperial Division in the Skyrim situation. I will try to humiliate her as often as I can for your guys' amusement. Also, let's see if I... So let's try and turn up the sound a little bit here. Now, this is a normal streaming thing for quieter games, so let's see if this works out.
The military governor.
Let me know how it
And
sounds.
it looks like the Thalmor are with him. Damn elves. I bet they had something to do with this.
Yeah, that's Twitface McGee. And I hate her. So, a lot of exposition is dumped on us in the intro. In my opinion, they could have chopped down... This isn't a huge criticism. This is just a minor point. They could have chopped down the amount of dialogue in this sequence by about half, and I think it would have worked better. Because it's really hard to explain without literally going down and going through the words, but they use like 3 or 4 sentences when one would suffice and infer more without sounding like exposition. Now, I'm one of those people who prefers exposition that doesn't sound like exposition, and I know that's just one thought of design and writing, so it's not. I'm not saying that is correct, but in my opinion, they could have just been... let me try to give an example here. So, you know, how about have the thief, for example, rather than saying, oh my god, you're the leader of the rebellion, if they're catching us, oh my god, you know, rewind that a little bit. Have his reaction be something along the lines of, wait, then what? But no, this can't be happening. You know, cut out the exposition of that sentence and just leave in the reaction. We then, the viewers, get the necessary information that this is something bad, like either he's some kind of political rival or some criminal or whatever, and that this thief is terrified simply to be in association with him. Bam, right there, we get the same general type of exposition without it sounding like exposition. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about with what I'm referring to here. A minor thing, but I wanted to bring it up.
This is Helgen. I used to be sweet on a girl from here. Wonder if Elod is still making that mead with juniper berries mixed in.
I don't want to sound like I'm nothing but negative. I want to give credit to that line right there. That line right there, well, it's actually 3 lines, but that single sequence of lines right there, that's perfect. That's like the one line that I feel is almost perfectly written in here. Just the guy talking about, I used to be sweet on... The idea here being that because he's reminiscing here, in a sad tone no less, good credit to the voice actor, about, all the mead here and there used to be a girl here and blah, blah, blah. That gets across his emotions and what we're going to. In fact, I would leave that in and chop out the earlier stuff of, well, Sovngarde awaits us. Just get rid of that. Leave in just here. So that we, again, get that inflection of, oh God, in case we haven't picked up on it now, yeah, we're going to be executed.
Funny. When I was a boy, Imperial walls and towers used to make me feel so safe.
And leave that in right there, too. Because in that one line, and the way he says it, we learn everything we need to know about the perspectives of the Civil War. The very idea of that. And the best part about it is if we are absent all other information, obviously we know a lot about this game and the story, but if we're absent all other information, we can infer from that either that the Empire has become corrupt and evil and horrible, or that he is someone who is a rebel, who is trying to go against this and prefers freedom. And the funny thing is, that's the perspective that we should be having between the Stormcloaks and the Imperials. So, again, good stuff there.
Who are they, Daddy? Where are they going?
We need to go inside the Markarth.
Why? I want to watch the soldiers.
Inside the house. Now.
Another nice little bit in the side. And the sad thing is there's only the one little side thing with the dad and his son. More of that. That's what I was talking about earlier. More of that.
Why do you think? End of the line.
By the way, we'll be going Imperial and Stormcloak for the sake of the Lorerun. You're welcome.
Let's go. Shouldn't keep the gods waiting for us.
No, wait, we're not rebels.
God, that lag.
Face your death with some courage, thief.
So I want to point something out really quick here. This is where the intro gets a little bit too heavy-handed. Because what happens coming up here is we have Hadavir there. He's cool. He's cool. He's our bro. He's polite to us. Even if we are an Argonian or a Khajiit, he is respectful. In fact, he even flat out says, and we'll see this because we're picking Argonian, I will make sure your remains get to the Black Marsh. Nice guy. Then there's Captain Evil Face. I'd tell you her name, but she doesn't have one. She is literally Captain Evil Face. Her purpose here is to show how evil the Empire is, and nothing else. She is ridiculously stupid in this presentation. I have trouble believing that... I know. There's always going to be horrible people and life is cheap. I get that. I've been saying this whole time. But from a narrative perspective, her purpose here is to be like, the Empire are the bad guys. And I know personally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people I can name, personally, people I know in person, who when they did this for the first time, picked Stormcloaks automatically because of her.
You've got to tell them we worked with you. This is a mistake.
Step towards the block when we call your name. One at a time.
I know, right?
Empire loves their damn lists.
That's another good line right there.
Ulfric Stormcloak, Jarl of Windhelm.
And that's the first time we need to have his name. Remember how I mentioned earlier, chop out the exposition? Him reciting his name and Jarl of Windhelm, that's all the information we need right there. Because then we could put together the earlier facts that he's terrified to be with us, and the fact that he's a Jarl, which most of us will understand, of Windhelm, an actual city. That gets together the idea of, oh, and then we get to understand, again, in an absence of information, we could, even as a new player, we could tell that there's some kind of political conflict, probably a civil war brewing here.
It has been an honor, Jarl Ulfric.
Ralof of Riverwood.
So, I'm going to say something a little bit personal. I've actually faced death in real life, more times than I'd like to admit. And I know what I sound like when I'm facing death. It's not pretty. It's not some big heroic thing. No, you don't know what screaming's like until you hear it from your own voice, I like to say. And I only bring that up because if I was facing death by execution in a mass of Imperials and was sufficiently panicked and out of my mind to just blindly run, which is literally an illogical conclusion. That is his mind breaking down to the point where he can't fathom what's going on anymore, and he does something just and just runs off. Now listen to his voice acting. Just give it a second. It's going to be next thing.
Of Rorikstead.
No, I'm not a rebel. You can't do this.
Halt!
You're not gonna kill me.
Orders! Anyone else feel like running?
I can't hear that without laughing. You're not going to kill me! I mean, come on. Sorry, I'm done. It's just, I love drawing attention to that. Moving on.
Wait. You there. Step forward.
I think he did quite a...
Who are you?
You're not gonna kill me. Sorry. Alright, so let me give another bit of well-deserved praise for this game. I like how the characters look. I mean, granted, anything would be an improvement over Oblivion, but I do legitimately really like the appearances in this game. Totally and absolutely. So, big props to the redesign of the characters. Especially the Khajiit. And the Argonians. Which is what we will be, obviously. I mean, why wouldn't we be an Argonian? God. All joking aside, I do think Argonians look really awesome in this game. Now, that does make, much more customization options, too. I mean, obviously, Oblivion let you go all over the place, but there's a fairly significant amount of customization in this. Now, let me go ahead and give what is probably one of my single biggest complaints about Skyrim. I just want to get this out right here up front. It's a console game. And it's a console game that was not properly ported to PC. Now, mods can and have fixed all of these issues. But I will never forget playing this game for the first time, with no mods at all, and being legitimately frustrated with the UI constantly. I hope at least some of you understand what I mean by that. It's hard to describe unless you've just sat down and played the game. But there's a lot of little things that are clearly designed to be played like this and not like this. And it drives me crazy. So, we're going to go ahead and do this. I could never get Sky UI working, so no, we will not have that for this playthrough. Hi, Zoan. Come on, there we go. Whip. Yes, I will, but not right now. That's going to be a later thing. Get some scars going on. Scars are cool. I actually have a lot of scars in real life. Not on my face. I've always been amused by that. There we go. And red. There we go. Actually, I am running SkyZ as we speak. SkyZ 64. By the way, we're using the special edition. I can explain why if you really care. But anybody who saw the setup streams knows exactly why. He's not evil. There we go. Is it this one? There it is. That's the one I like. Yep. Come on. I can't change the horsepower. Okay. What are you talking about, Jonga? Okay, I think we're good. Okay, apparently some of you weren't here for the setup stream. In brief, Skyrim was not just crashy, it was taking an intermittent amount of time to load. Even when we started ripping mods out, like we started off with like 30 some odd mods, and then the load times were about 70 seconds per zone, which is incredibly unacceptable in general and absolutely unacceptable for a Lorerun. Can you imagine every time I fast travel just sitting here and waiting for a minute plus? No, that's unacceptable. So we started ripping mods out. And we got down to what was basically what I considered the bare minimum of mods. And then it was having variable load times, anywhere from about 13 seconds to about 70 seconds at random, which is what people are saying in chat now. That was after we pared down the mods. Now, I fiddled with that for literally days, until finally I was like, all right, swallowed my pride, downloaded the Skyrim SE, and was like, okay, let's see what we got here. And I got like a very small number of mods. I think I'm running like 3 mods. It's not a lot of mods. And the load times were consistently low, average of about 3 to 6 seconds. Then there's the stability issue. So with the other version, we had several crashes, which is to be expected. I actually played through the entire main quest on stream, so I was making sure I was streaming for testing purposes, with the special edition in like 5 or so hours, something like that. It wasn't very long, just blazed through the whole main quest. And no crashes, no memory leaks, no nothing. And the load times never went up. So, we're playing the special edition because it is the most stable, and it is the one that's actually going to keep, not have load time issues. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. But what should we call ourselves? Because we can't be the Archiangonian, right? Maybe we should be like the next level after the Archiangonian, because the Archiangonian is off being Sheogorath. So, and of course, people in chat got there before I was. I actually planned this. Lorerunian is who we're going to be this time around.
Are you a relative of one of the Riften dockworkers, Agonian? Captain, what should we do?
Yes, I know,
He's
Stream
not on the
Whisperer.
list.
Forget the list. He goes to the block.
So, yeah, Captain McEvilface here. Say, we've got a prisoner who isn't actually supposed to be a prisoner. Well, then let's execute him! Now, this irritates me for 2 reasons. First of all, because that is basically just stupid evil. But second of all, because no one else contests that. It's just, oh, okay, let's just execute a completely innocent person who we don't even know who they are. Die!
By your orders, Captain. I'm sorry. We'll make sure your remains are returned to Blackmarsh. Follow the captain, prisoner.
Yeah, exactly. I would really prefer... We know Hadvar's kind of a cool guy. We have already seen that, and we will see that in the future. So I would have liked it much better if Hadvar had raised a fuss, and then more of the blame was pushed onto her here. Like, so in other words, make it so that she's like, oh, I don't care, put him on the list. And he's like, Captain, this isn't even a prisoner. We can't put him, or her, or whatever, relative to gender. We can't put that in... No, I don't think you heard me, Captain. Or Lieutenant, or what the hell he is. He goes to the block. Or would you like to join him? And then have Hadvar be like, by your orders, Captain. Sorry, Argonian. We will make sure your remains get... have the apology be a little bit more important there and impacting, because he actually went out of his way to protest, That's one thing I would add to this if I was redoing this. Oh, God. Okay, so you'll notice we're having these weird... I just mentioned how stable this game was, and if you notice, we're having this weird thing every now and again, and I don't know what's up with that.
Ulfric Stormcloak.
Okay, I don't remember the guy who voices Tullius. I actually like him as an actor, but I gotta be honest, I don't think he does a good job in this game. He sounds dull. You know what I mean? He sounds like he puts no emphasis or no strength into any of his words. He's just, some here call you a hero, but a hero... Just listen to his voice. Here, listen to this.
Some here in Helgen call you a hero, But a hero doesn't use a power like the voice to murder his king and usurp his throne.
Yeah, I know he's Captain Bailey. I just can't remember the actor's name.
You started this war, plunged Skyrim into chaos, and now the Empire is going to put you down and restore the peace.
What was that?
It's nothing. Carry on.
Oh yeah, by the way, notice that they are more Roman looking here. That's kind of cool. I'll talk more about that later.
Yes, General Tullius. Give them their last rites.
As we commend your souls to Aetherius, blessings of the 8
9.
divines upon
For the
you.
love of Talos, shut up and let's get this over with.
Learn as you wish.
Come on! I haven't got all morning.
Now let me give one other bit of praise to Skyrim. They do a lot more with the animations than basically was ever possible before. There's a lot of custom animations that really help sell some scenes, and the one you're about to see is a really good example of that. So, shove, down, knee on. Like, they literally couldn't do that in Oblivion. Or that. And then gently nudge it to the side. I know that's such a simple thing, but it's something that I appreciated when I first played this, and I still appreciate to this day. Improved animations is always good stuff like that. Also, I wish we knew his name, then I'd look for him in Sovngarde. But anyways.
Hideous bastards!
Justice!
Death to the Stormcloaks!
As fearless in death as he was in life.
Next, the lizard!
Here it is again. Did you hear that?
I said, next prisoner!
Because, I mean, some kind of roaring scream that's audible enough to be heard in the entire chasm can't possibly be something that interests them. Also, why are they in such a hurry to execute us? You ever wonder about that? Like, first they execute Nameless Guy, and then they go after us, and then I don't know what they were going to do next, because they never get to, oh god, I can't think of his name, the cool Stormcloak, or Ulfric.
To the block, prisoner. Nice and easy.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they didn't do Ulfric first, legitimately, because that you'd think that would be standard operating procedure.
What in Oblivion is that?
Sentries, what do you see?
It's in the clouds.
There's that stutter again. Hey, Alduin. Quick note I want to mention here. One thing that's really funny and interesting about this is that, from Alduin's perspective, he was just fighting a bunch of people a few minutes ago. And then the time thing happened, and he was sent right here. Now, you can't... That's probably some of that whole fate thing implied, but that you cannot tell me that's a coincidence. Because he basically was teleported to this moment when we were about to be executed. Now, it's possible that that happened when they read the scroll back in the past, or it's possible we made that happen when we read the scroll in the future, depending on how you define it. But again, the fact that he comes right here, within literally seconds of saving us from execution, yeah, I know, narrative law and all that, but that is indicative, I think. Oh, I can move finally. Yay, I have act. I can move. I can move. Okay, so now this is kind of an effective little sequence here. This is where the intro picks up a bit.
Jarl, look. What is that thing? Could the legends be true?
Hang on, hang on.
Legends don't burn down villages.
On your knees.
We need to move now!
Up through the tower. Let's go!
Hey, Alduin. How are you? I've actually sped run this intro, so forgive me. It's kind of weird going slow through this.
Boy, you're doing great.
This is also a good example of them kind of showcasing Hadavar versus... Oh no, Stormcloaks are fine. I hate Ulfric. I hate Ulfric. This is a nice way to show the difference, because earlier we had Captain McEvilface. She's already dead, by the way. But Hadavar, the next thing we hear about him is his concern for saving a boy. Like, come on, get out of here. Go. There you go.
God, everyone still alive, prisoner? Keep close to me if you want to stay that way. Gunnar, take care of the boy. I have to find General Tullius and join the defense.
Ulfric is the worst kind of human being. People like him should just die. Selfish, greedy, opportunistic, racist dick. He's scum. Do you, Angrad? God, I don't actually know. It's been so long since I've done the Stormcloak side of this thing. I thought she was already dead, but I'll take your word on it. Oh yeah, by the way, this will be my 6th or so time playing this game, I think. So I'm not quite as expert in this as I am the previous 2.
It's you and me, prisoner. Stay close.
Oh yeah, he's also very short-sighted, in addition to his other wonderful qualities. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Let's quick save and find out.
We're escaping, Hadvar. You're not stopping us this time.
God, what's with the stutter? I'm sorry, hang on. I don't have anything really going on. Why is there a stutter? Hang on. I've streamed the entire main quest of this game while streaming. This version of the game. I haven't changed anything. Why the crap? Anyways.
How in oblivion do we kill this thing? You, come on!
Okay, I'll join you, Ralof. You're cool. Even though you're slave to an asshole. Hello? Oh, there you are. I mean, I guess we can show off both sides of this anyways. This section of the intro is mildly different. Basically, the first few things here are significantly different between the two, right up until you get to the point where you start going through the caves. Then all that really changes is who your enemies are.
We'll meet again in Sovngarde.
Yeah, exactly, Marco. I've said this before and I'll say this again. Both sides of the Civil War are wrong. I don't actually support the Empire, and I don't actually support the Stormcloaks. I think they're both idiots. But, given the circumstances, I would, if you put the gun to me, in canon, I would go ahead and support the Empire. Mostly because of Ulfric, if I'm being honest, but also because this, in my opinion, yeah, for different reasons, exactly, Anthony. In my opinion, the Stormcloak Rebellion is something that should be dealt with either later or when the real threat is no longer a problem. Because all this Stormcloak Rebellion is doing, is making everything worse for everyone who isn't the Thalmor. And I'm pretty anti-Thalmor. Like, I may hate your guts, Empire or Stormcloaks or whatever, but let's just go ahead and put things to the side until the Thalmor are dealt with. Once the Thalmor are dealt with, fine, we could have a civil war or a political segregation or whatever else. I don't even care at that point. But can we deal with the real problem first? Anyways.
Looks like we're the only ones who made it.
Oh, the Thalmor aren't racist. They're genocidal. No, really. They are literally Nazis. They are Altmer supremacists who want to elevate the Altmer to the point of being the Aldmer, if you know what I mean by that.
That thing was a dragon, no doubt. Just like the children's stories and the legends. The harbingers of the end times.
Oh yeah, exactly.
We better get moving.
Yes, Anthony, exactly. They're a couple of steps up. The Thalmor, I want to stress this, by the way. I'm not with Django. The Aldmeri Dominion, I'm going to try to be specific about this. There is a difference between the Aldmeri Dominion and the Thalmor. Now, the Aldmeri Dominion, let me just go ahead and get this out of the way. Boop, there we go. The Aldmeri Dominion is that, because we don't actually know that much about the Aldmeri Dominion, unfortunately. We know about some of the military. We know about a couple of individuals. There are some decent Altmer here in Skyrim. But for the most part, we don't know what things are going on or how things are, or if they're in favor of the conquest, or if they're secretly oppressed, or, you know. What we do know is that the Thalmor are really, really horrible. Now, the analogy I like to use is that the Aldmeri Dominion is Germany, and thus the Thalmor are the Nazis. It is pretty obvious why that distinction is so important, especially to anybody from Europe from the last century.
You may as well take Gunnar's gear. He won't be needing it anymore.
Yeah, okay. I'll take that and that and that. Oh God, I'm sorry. I don't like this interface.
All right, get that armor on.
I'll try to get used to it. I'll try to get
Give
used to
that
it.
axe a few swings. I'm going to see if I can find some way out of here. Ah, this one's locked.
What? Didn't I put on the axe? Oh no, I didn't. There we go.
Let's see about that gate. Damn, no way to open this from our side. It's the Imperials. Take cover.
Get this gate open.
You're right. It's Imperial Evil Face. It's not working, Kishkaman. I've tried like 8 times to get it working. I've given up. Hey, Imperial Evil Face. Again, she literally doesn't have a name. She literally doesn't have a name. She's also dead.
What are you doing? Maybe one of these Imperials had the key. Unlock that door and let's get out of here.
Okay, so doodly.
We're escaping, Anach. You're not stopping us this time.
Fine. I hope that dragon takes you on, Sovereign.
I'm pretty sure I already answered that one, Terra. Although I don't think I actually used the word evil. I used the words selfish, short-sighted, childish, that's a good one,
We're the only ones who make it.
foolish.
Was that really a dragon? Bring us at the end times? We should keep moving. Come here. Let me see if I can get those bindings off.
Oh, it absolutely does fall out, as I mentioned earlier.
There you go. Take a look around. There should be plenty of gear to choose from. I'm going to see if I can find something for these burns.
Okay.
See if this chest has
No,
armor
Terra.
for you.
We'll cover it as we go through it. Although, let me put it to you, let me just give you... Oh yeah, and also racist. Forgot about that. So Ulfric is racist. There's absolutely no denying this. Ulfric is the kind of guy who says, so there's the Thalmor and the Aldmeri Dominion, and they could attack us at any moment. But you know what? I have an idea. I think that while I'm negotiating an unheard of peace treaty with the other side, which will make me be beloved by my own people, I'm going to demand territory. Because that's all I'm really after. Yeah, Ulfric is only interested in Ulfric. He is a power-hungry hypocrite. That is a great way to put that. He is someone who... It's easy to... sympathize with the Stormcloaks. Really, it's relatively easy to see the perspective of the Stormcloaks. The problem is Ulfric. Ulfric is not interested in Skyrim or the Nords or anything. If he was, he wouldn't have decided to murder the actual High King of Skyrim in a power grab. That was his opening move. I mean, Christ's sakes. And there are many other... Can I literally not loot all? Oh, Jesus Christ.
You better get that.
There are many other examples of his wonderfulness.
Give that sword a few swings, too. Let's keep moving. That thing is still out there.
Yeah, R wasn't working. Here, what? Well, it doesn't matter now, but R... Yeah, it wasn't doing anything. That's true. His second in command is messed up. We'll discuss him when we do his side of the Civil War. Come on. Dude, Hadvar, let's go. God, escort quest, am I right?
We need to get moving. That dragon is tearing up the whole keep.
Just give me a minute. I'm out of breath.
Hear that? Stormcloaks. Maybe we can reason with them.
I want to point your attention to that. Because this is... I've known a lot of players who never did the Imperial side of this, who got out of the intro thinking, the Empire's hideously evil, because basically because they never interacted with Hadvar. Hadvar is actually a pretty cool guy, as I've said before. And again, okay, let's go try to reason with the Stormcloaks. The mere fact that he says that speaks volumes. He is definitely the kind of guy who's like, okay, we got a dragon up there, can we deal with other things later? Now, I point that out because...
Hold on now. We only want to... If you want to die...
Yeah. I really wanted to make sure that played out like that. You can actually interrupt it yourself. So, if you play as Imperial for the first time, which I did, by the way, you might be mistaken for having the impression the Stormcloaks are just idiot, stupid rebels. I certainly had that impression because I learned about Ulfric, and most of what I learned about Stormcloaks was from these guys. No, yeah, it's true. Both they go out of the way to make sure that Hadvar and Rolig, or whatever his name is, are both good guys. They're both decent folk, and I think that was a good move. You know, after the chaos of what just happened, we need a bit of a breather period, and giving us someone who is relatable and charismatic is a good move. Now, well, I do feel like the intro has some issues after this. Not that. That's not an issue.
Damn, that dragon doesn't give up easy.
What are you doing? We need to get out of Helgen.
I'll try it next time, Dream Whisperer.
These Imperials have potions in here. We're going to need... Did you hear something?
And again, they attack us on sight. I just feel like stressing that I'm an Argonian. Like, I guess I'm in Imperial armor, but I could be walking through here naked and they're like, kill!
See if you can find some potions. Might come in handy.
So, looting. This is actually decent right here. Whole section of stuff that you can loot, and all of it's optional. So, zoop.
Done then. This way.
I think they're both equal, Micromano, honestly.
The torture room. Gods, I wish we didn't need these.
Did you hear that line, by the way? The torture room. Gods, I wish we didn't need these.
Hear that? Come on.
Oh yeah, I make it a point of killing the torturer each time I come through here. Because he's a torturer. Oh yeah, hang on, TGM.
Don't you even know what's going on? A dragon is happening out here. What's the...
Okay, damn it, his heal is too much. Die! What? No. Come on, die.
Come with us.
There we go.
You have no authority over me, boy.
Didn't you hear me? I said the keep is under attack. Wait a second. Looks like there's something in this cage.
Don't bother with that. Lost the key ages ago. Poor fellow screamed for weeks.
See if you can get it open with some picks. We'll need everything we can get.
Take all my things, please.
Grab what you can and let's go.
In case you missed that, because it's still kind of quiet. Again, that guy's just stupid evil. And Hadvar is the one who is the decent folk, is like, I'm sorry, are you stupid? And he's like, you don't understand. No, are you stupid? I agree. You know what? Stop existing. Now, I know this is pure preference, so I'm not going to say this is a positive or a negative or whatever. But I like this form of lockpicking way better than any other version we've ever seen. I don't like ESOs at all. I can't stand ESO's lockpicking. I really don't like Oblivions, and I've never really cared for Morrowinds. So, there we go. I like Skyrim's lockpicking, legitimately. I actually enjoy it. It's probably one of the only times I actually do lockpicking, pretty much just for fun. Now again, pure opinion. So I'm not going to put that as high or low or positive or negative or whatever, just mentioning it. How are they different? Are you serious, Anthony? Okay. In Morrowind, here's how lockpicking works. You have to have a lockpick equipped, and you have to do this. You literally wield it, like you hit attack with a lockpick equipped. And then it does a skill check, and that's what determines if you get through it, okay? That's Morrowinds. In Oblivions, it's, oh god, I'm trying to think how to explain this, because I almost never do it. You tap the thing, you go click, and it goes, and you have to figure out the exact spot in order to click it into space, and then you do the next thing, and the next thing, and the difficulty of the lock determines how many spindles? I can't remember the terminology that you need to do in order to lock it into place. So, in ESO, I really don't like ESOs. In ESOs, tumblers, thank you. In ESOs, you have to press down until it starts wiggling and then stop. And then press down the next one and then stop. And then press down the next one and stop. Also, you have a time limit in ESO, which really irritates me. In this, you do the Fallout 3 thing. It is the Fallout 3 thing, and I do like this version better. So yeah, each one is pretty different. So again, preference. Oh yeah, can I mention one other thing I really like about Skyrim? That right there. The fact that I can just say help item and get actual ID codes for the Ebony Dagger of Malediction right there. That is such a godsend. I can't even put it into words. That is so helpful. It tells you items, it tells you NPCs, it tells you locations and scripts and spells, and it's awesome, and I love it. Moving on. Now, I know that the help command has existed in previous Elder Scrolls games, but the help command in Skyrim is way more extensive and way more useful. I don't know, actually, Zoan. You guys... Yeah, no, the help command is amazing in Skyrim. Seriously and legitimately. I was actually going back to Oblivion and I'm like, hey, what kind of combat? Usually I'm sword and board or sword and spell are my usuals.
Just give me a minute.
And no stealth. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's also helpful because, okay, let me explain one other reason why that help command is so helpful. Because the help command gives you variable or dynamic ID codes. So for example, I don't know, let's say I have a mod that gives me an incredibly good sword. Well, hey, there's the ID codes for it. In other words, you actually can't look up certain ID codes online. You'd have to go look up the base ID, and then you'd have to figure out the mod order list and figure out which numbers would be the first 2 digits, and then plug it in, right? And while that's possible, it's kind of a pain. And remember what I said earlier about how many mods you can do in Skyrim. Like dozens, if not literally into the triple-digit range, right? So being able to bypass all that and just pop in the game and say, help, name, just skips all that. I also kind of like one thing they did with the combat. You'll notice here he's blocking, but he's still taking damage. You can also break blocks entirely. I don't know, I just feel that makes the combat a little bit more dynamic. Oh yeah, I also like the kill animations. Yes, we are, Zoan. Oh yeah, one other thing I like about Skyrim. Oh yeah, there's also environmental damage. Sorry, I actually meant to show this off. Where is it? Where is it? Isn't it? Oh, I guess not. Anyways, point being, there's oil, and you could set the oil on fire. And if you're standing in the fire, then you take damage from the fire. it's kind of the next step after the physics damage that was introduced in Oblivion. And it's good stuff, and it adds to probably what I think is the other really, really good thing that Skyrim did very well. Dungeon design. The dungeons in Skyrim are the first dungeons in any Elder Scrolls game that I've legitimately enjoyed.
I guess we're lucky that didn't come down on top of us.
I'll talk more about the dungeons later.
We'll find another way out.
Come on. Yeah, man. There you go. Yeah, better lighting, better layout, more variety. Just better design concepts with regards to usages of enemies and traps and all sorts of fun stuff like that. Come on. Come on.
That doesn't go anywhere.
Uh-oh. Oh, God. It's bears! No! No, God! There's bears everywhere! Oh, God! Okay, all joking aside, you notice how much health they have? If you're using this mod, I highly recommend trying to sneak through this room. They will freaking kill you. You notice how very, very little damage I'm doing to these guys. So we're going to go ahead and officially cheat here. Because, yeah, this will actually take a while without. Yep, that's nice. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
That'll teach. What next? Giant snakes?
Yes, so on. Legitimately and really. Skyrim spiders are one of the very, very, very few video games spiders ever that have actually bothered me. Oh yeah, by the way, one other thing that Skyrim did that I like, and I'll explain why I like this in a moment. The amount of skill-up experience you get in a skill is dependent on how successful you are at it. To explain literally what I just mean, my one-handed sword is at like 80-something right now because I hit them really, really, really hard. Now, I like that because obviously that rewards you a little bit better based on how well you're doing, but more to the point, it's helpful if you want to switch specs. So, for example, let's say I'm level 18, right? And I've been trying out sword and board for a while, but God, I'd really like to use a bow. So since I'm level 18, I have access to a nice, good bow. So I'm going to hit pretty hard with this bow, relatively speaking. Harder than I would have back at level 1. That significant hit is going to give me more experience, and bow will catch up quicker, thus making it easier to try different specs. So it's a good system, and I like that. Yeah, sneak attack as well. That's another way to do that. Oop. See, my one-handed is 94 because of how much I'm hitting. They were also more clever about lighting effects in general. Stuff like this was in Oblivion, but they didn't really use it to good effect because they were just starting that. Yeah, souls to perks is one of the more common ones.
Like the way out. I was starting to wonder if we'd ever make it.
Interesting, Prometheus. Now, that doesn't apply to spells.
Wait.
I'll talk about spells in a second.
Looks like he's gone for good this time. But I don't think we should stick around to see if he comes back. The closest town from here is Riverwood. My uncle's the blacksmith there. I'm sure he'd help you out. It's probably best if we split up. Good luck. I wouldn't have made it without your help today.
See you around, Hadvar. You have a good one, man. Yeah, I shrug, basically. Like, okay, so there's a talent, where is it? Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Yeah, sure, that, yep. I didn't actually want to level. This is great. This is exactly what I didn't want to happen. Hang on, I gotta reload a save now. It literally doesn't let you out of the leveling screen until you level. But since I'm here, I'll show off what I was talking about. It's over here somewhere. Is it sneak? Here it is. Sneak attacks with one-handed weapons now do 6 times damage. that's pretty much the way to play a stealth character. I have been told that stealth backstabby is super OP. I've never done it, so I wouldn't know. I also don't... Oh yeah, you can up to 15 times damage by the time you get up to 50 points as well, by the way. Also, just in case someone thinks I'm not going to point it out, here, as you can see, we've got the triad thing going on. We got the mage, we got the warrior, and we got the rogue, once again. So, yeah, I need to reload, because I don't actually want to be that high level. Okay. I'm still low level, right? Yep, okay, good, good. Alright, so Anthony, what did you say the OFFS thing for? Go ahead and be honest with me, man. Oh yeah, one other thing I like about Skyrim, I can alt-tab easier on Skyrim. It doesn't cause issues or crashes, at least not as much. No, I have no intention to ever increase my perks. I intend to beat the game at level 1, with a couple of exceptions. Where is it? Look at my notes here. Give me a second, sorry guys. There we go. No? I suppose we should talk about the perk system. I both like and dislike it. The perk system is not a bad idea, but I always felt just a little bit too grindy. I know that sounds like a weird thing, but it's... I never felt rewarding going through the perk system when I was playing, any of the times I've played through this. And I don't have any other ways to say that. It felt more like, okay, I need to get this one, but I need to okay, so I need to be this level and get this point, so then I can get this one. It's not bad. I'm not going to give it a negative. I'm not saying it like that. It's just not something that I found to be particularly good. There we are. That's what I wanted. Now, I will say... Yeah, exactly. Most of the perks are basically just increased damage and whatnot. And yeah, you have to be level 3. You have to be level ridiculous in order to actually min-max the game, which, as opposed to like 50 in Oblivion, for example. Probably Witcher 3, Luthor, just off the top of my head. Otherwise, probably Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or Grand Theft Auto 5 or Oblivion. Why is it still playing the level up music? You can stop that now. Okay, thank you. No, stop! Stop! I'm not leveling. Jesus Christ. We done? We done? Still getting the stutters. I didn't get any stutters. Oh god, it's still doing it. God. It's still doing it. Okay. Now we're gonna scene change. We're gonna cell change, I should say. Nope, it's still playing the level up music. Alright, hang on. Let's go to the main menu. Oh god, it's still playing at the main menu! It's still playing at the main menu! Welcome to Skyrim! Wait. Okay, it changed. We're okay. Oh god, it's playing with the title screen music. Do you hear this? Anyways, what the hell was I talking about? God, that just really killed my brain. Okay. Just about 80 more loops. We'll be good, guys. We'll be good. Just have to listen to that 80 more times. Oh my god. Okay. Oh god, that would be horrible. Okay. Okay, let's load the save. What? Where's... Yes, that one. I think we're okay, guys. I think we're okay. One of the things that I really like about this game... No, Anthony, no! Is the two-handed thing. You can have one thing equipped in each hand. I love that. I love the fact that you have that option. Oh yeah, guys, you were saying it's still too quiet. Hang on, I'll turn it up even more. Jeez Louise. This is so loud that people are usually complaining at this point. It says something about how quiet this game is. Anyways, that away. So you can have something in each hand, and that's awesome, and I love that. And the idea of being able to put a spell in a hand, well, some spells in a hand, is also awesome. You know, because then you could literally be a sword mage instead of being like Oblivion, where you just swing and then cast, or a Morrowind where you have to switch and switch. It offers some variety. I like that in concept. The problem is, in my personal and professional opinion, the magic in Skyrim is garbage. And I feel like that is one of the biggest problems that doesn't really take advantage of what would otherwise be an excellent system. So, I don't know about you guys, but I have found in repeated playthroughs of this game that the initial spell, I'm talking the very first spell, the one that's just the hold to channel, or the hold to channel, is actually the best spell for that particular school, with regards to most especially restoration and destruction. Now, some of the other skills are a little bit, whatever, but and I can explain this in a detailed way rather than just, I don't like it. Yeah, there are spell mods, I know, but I'm talking about the base game here. Because, first of all, the first problem is that if you're going to... We actually talked about this recently. This is the most of... Several, as you level up through later spells, those spells require charge time. And as you go up to even more spells, those spells require both hands. So you can no longer do the two-hand thing. You have to actually use both hands in order to equip the spell in order to cast it. Now, that's a significant sacrifice. So in order to make that worthwhile, the spell has to be equivalently more worthwhile. But there are two big things getting in the way of it being said more worthwhile. First of all, too many of the higher level spells don't... It's easy for the damage to not hit if you miss. The damage itself doesn't scale quite properly. So it actually doesn't do the equivalent amount of damage mathematically that it should. Oh yeah, it also costs way more mana. That's another thing I forgot about. And of course, it's backloaded damage. Now let me explain what I mean by that very briefly. Because I think I can actually do this here. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. This is perfect. So, that's wrong. That's not what I meant to do. Give me a second. Ever since I first played this, I know you can rebind it, but I just want to comment on it. It's weirded me out that right-click is left hand and left-click is right hand. Anyways, so this is front-loaded damage. Boop, Boop, I am doing damage. Every second I've got that out, I am doing damage. Right? Makes sense. The moment I hit click, the moment I start casting, damage is being done. Okay? Makes sense? So that's front-loaded damage. That means no lost time. Like if I miss, like if I hit someone and then they dodge to the right, I have still done damage to them. Make sense? Now let's assume that this was one of the charge spells, like the icicle shot is one of the ones I remember the most. So that requires a little bit of charge time, and then you got to release it. Now first of all, this is a minor complaint, but the charge time isn't as clear as when you're done as it should be. That's just a bit of a UI thing. But more to the point, The time you're spent charging, you're not doing anything. So mathematically, if you're looking at it at a timeline, for the first one, you do damage and then they dodge. So you do damage and then they dodge. But in the second one, if you charge up and they dodge, the whole timeline you have spent doing nothing. Make sense? Now, there are ways to make backloaded damage worthwhile. Plenty of games have played with backloaded damage versus front-loaded damage. But Skyrim is an ARPG, that is to say an action RPG, that doesn't really seem to go the extra effort necessary to make backloaded damage worthwhile. It doesn't do as much damage as it should, it costs too much, and it's too easy to get interrupted or otherwise basically have wasted your time doing nothing. So I actually did a full mage playthrough once, where I had heal, the basic heal, and fire, and ice and lightning, the basic stuff, and that's it. And I made that work all the way through, because those spells, these same basic spells, this spell right here, does scale with your skill. And as you get the perks that improve your fire damage, that affects that spell. So it actually becomes more worthwhile to keep the lower level spells than the higher ones. So that's why that's probably the biggest single reason why I feel the magic system is simply insufficient when it comes to Skyrim. Now, there's other issues too, like the way they handle scaling, which I've talked about many times before. I could also bring up the fact that there's no spellcrafting, obviously, and there is a drastically reduced number of spells in the game in general, which I find to be disappointing. And I suppose let's go ahead and address that really quick. Hi, Tyler. I hate the term streamlined because, in my opinion, too many people overuse the term streamlined. Because most of the time when someone says a game is streamlined, they mean it's worse. They're saying that as an insult, okay? Nevertheless, I do feel that Skyrim is legitimately streamlined from previous games. Overall selection and options in most aspects of the game, including gear, spells, and stats, have all been brought down to a smaller number. We literally have less schools of magic. We don't even have attributes anymore. They don't exist. You just have your skills and the perks, and that's all. There's well, actually, I shouldn't say that. There's actually a slightly increased range on gear. Crafting isn't less or more. Crafting is kind of sideways. We'll talk more about crafting later, but that's a weird one. Now, whether that's to the benefit or to the detriment of the game, that's up to you. I'm not here to judge that. That's not my purpose. I'm just bringing up the fact that I do feel, without judgment, that this game is legitimately streamlined, like literally streamlined from previous Elder Scrolls games. Again, whether that's good or bad, that's up to you. Now, I will say what is a definitive bad thing for me is the removal of spellcrafting. I have never forgiven them for removing spellcrafting. Now, yes, I know, there are mods that add spellcrafting back in. In my experience, most of them are kind of crap, because it's basically heavily scripting to try to basically force a spell to have different attributes. But what is with that stuttering? That is so weird that it's doing that. Anyways, so I just wanted to comment on that really quick. Now, I will say one other thing. While I think Oblivion has aged pretty well, I also think Skyrim can be gorgeous. I want to stress that word, it can be. There are several parts of Skyrim that I think are legitimately beautiful. I'm looking at one of them right now. In fact, this is probably a really strategic position for them to push you out into the world for the first time, just like they did with both Oblivion and Morrowind. It's like, here, boom, massive forest, beautiful mountain off of there, nice blue skies. We've got some kind of dungeon thing visible right there, which is actually where the first main quest leads to, blah, blah, blah. Good design, good stuff. I like that. That being said, there is a complaint I've had about the visuals of Skyrim that has taken me years to put words to, and honestly, I'm still not comfortable doing so. Because something about the graphics doesn't appeal to me. Like, not in general. Obviously, there are certain aspects of it that are very pretty. But
What was that? Thought I heard something.
No, you heard nothing. Like I said, to this day, I have trouble really putting words to it. Like, the dungeons, the towns, and a lot of the areas that look kind of samey to me. And it gets to the point where I just don't really want to keep playing the game. Like, I remember when I first finished playing this game, my internal reaction was, God, what the hell's wrong with me? And that was actually what I was thinking. What the hell is wrong with me? It may be the filters they put on it, because they do put filters on it. Just like they do with Fallout 3, for example, which was the game they made just before this. So they do put filters on it. That might be it. It might be the saturation. It might be the lack of vibrant colors. You'll notice I am playing the Special Edition, and you can tell that because the trees are much more noticeably green. Anybody who's played vanilla Skyrim without mods knows what I'm talking about here. Those trees in this intro area look noticeably different than in vanilla Skyrim. So Special Edition does actually look a lot better, especially when it comes to its colors, to me personally. Some of the textures are alright, some of them aren't. I actually don't think I'm running anything other than the basic texture pack for load time issues. Well, thankfully I'm not, Carbon. Well, shadows are kind of weird, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on. Hang on, where's a tree? Perfect. Here we go. Just watch it for a second. Put the cursor right on the edge there. I don't remember if this was in this game or another one I'm thinking of. I don't know, Micromano. I mean, there's mods in Fallout 3 that remove the filters. I know that. The world looks so copy-pasted to that. Oh, by the way, Carbon, I know it's you, blah, blah, blah. No excess bashing. We were making that a rule. No excess negativity is really what it comes down to. You want a criticism? I've been criticizing this game for the last, hour and a half here. But don't go too far, okay? Wow, this is not moving. I swore the shadows moved really weird in this game. I might be thinking of another game. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's another thing I don't like about this game. Now this is opinion. This is purely my opinion. I don't like the shouts in this game. Now, I can explain that very simply and very briefly. Oh, I think the shadows are moving. They had to have improved that. Am I really, Adam Sweeta? That's funny. I consider myself to be rather pragmatic and somewhat negative about Skyrim, even though I do consider it net positive. Anyways, let's talk about shouts, which, of course, I don't have any equipped right now. Why would I? In my opinion, shouts are too much in the middle. I feel like shouts... I will, Django. I feel like shouts should be either stronger or reduced cooldown. One of the two, right? Like, one of the two. Congrats, Equalitas. Because to me, shouts take too long to recharge and aren't strong enough to justify the time. Now, there are some shouts that are useful, but I got into the habit of having, 3 shouts that I use, ever. One of them's Dragon Rend, because they just weren't all that super awesome or useful or worth it, right? I mean, yeah, I get that it's a free thing, and I get that it's basically free spells, effectively. And we'll talk about theories about the nature of shouts and how that works with it. We will actually talk about lore, not just gameplay, I swear to God. But, like I said, if they had improved the stats or the usefulness of shouts to accommodate their long cooldown, or reduced the cooldown to accommodate the lackluster stats, I would have been more with it. Now, of course, as with everything, mods can fix this, and mods do allow you to alter and change shouts quite a bit, so just pointing that out as we go. Also, sunsets are legitimately gorgeous in this game, as I'm showing right now. This is actually perfect. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is great right here. So, I was going to talk about one other thing. I talked about shouts, I talked about spells. Unrelenting Force, yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have whoop in this game. Hi. Anyways. I mean, I've kind of done that, Anthony, in real life. Anyways. Let me go ahead and say, so let's bring up one other negative. This. I have seen several map mods, and to this day, I've never seen a map mod I really liked. Now, it's really hard to explain what I don't like about the map. Like, the idea, the concept of a 3D map sounds awesome. You know, I mean, it's kind of hard to show, but you can literally see the mountains actually a 3D object that's rendered there. But I don't like it. It's really hard to explain why. I think part of it is the fact that the camera that you can swirl around here just feels weird and restricted. Like, I feel like I'm basically... I feel like there's a rubber band around my head, and so I'm like... Yeah, I feel like it's a little hard to legitimately navigate. I also will say that what I usually consider one of my mandatory mods for this is one that... yeah, there's no roads shown, too. That's another thing. There's a mod that that colors each different type of thing, different color, and I feel that's a huge distinction in UI design. Being able to just, at a glance, be like, well, that's a dungeon, and that's a town, and that's a city, and that's a Draugr place, you know? That kind of a thing. That mod is something that really, in my opinion, should be in the base game. I'm actually a little surprised it isn't. Okay, you got me on that, Carbon. Also, I feel like the clouds don't help. Like, they're neat looking, but they kind of get in the way more than anything else. But anyways. Yeah, Oblivion's map is great. And as I said before, I find Oblivion's map to be the best of the four, excuse me, if we're counting ESO. And of course, there's mods. Everything I mentioned that's a criticism has a mod to fix it, because as I said before, Skyrim has insane mod support and a gargantuan mod community. So, yeah, I know the one you're talking about, Anthony. The maps one. There's actually, we tried it back on the previous, when we were playing regular Skyrim and not Skyrim SE. We had the one with the roads on the map. Anyways. I have a question for you now. How many of the times when you first played this game, the Daggerfall has a map? When you first played this game, how many of you totally ignored that quest marker up there at the top of my screen and beelined for that ruin you saw right at the intro? Streamlined minimalist stuff can work, I think. I just don't think it works here. IMO. Favorite weapon, mods, and armor? Oh god, I like a lot of armor in this game. My favorite weapon, though, by far is Frostmourne. There's a really good Frostmourne mod, and I'm actually legitimately sad we don't get to use it for this playthrough. What do you mean, Zawan? I mean, yes, we're going to be talking about lore. Like I said, I swear. We've got some lore to discuss here. Oh, yeah, you can also stay with Ralof or Hadvar.
Now, ain't this a surprise?
I wonder what it feels like to burn alive. Hey, excuse me, could you tell me what you're feeling right now? Interesting. Anyone else?
Your kind has no place here! I'll try and make this quick.
Lol, Carbon. Oh, I did. Whoop! I suppose we'll go ahead and start doing the cheats, so give me a second to pull them up here so I can remember them all. So what we're going to do... so to make sure you guys don't freak out over the speed, we've actually set this considerably down from what we can. So we're only going to be moving at this speed instead of much, much faster. This is only 500 speed. Trust me, we can get a lot faster than this. In fact, just to demonstrate really quick, let me kill this. Make sure we're not in combat. Get a quick save. And then set it up to, oh, I don't know, 1500. So, there's this 1500 speed. No, we're not walking on water. We're just swimming very quickly. Zip-de-doo. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we are. Yep. To Solitude? Well, I think we could go faster. Turn around. It's going to be about that way, I think. Let me check the map here. Yep, that's about right. Oh, jeez, we ran out of mountain. Okay, one. I was going to time it. Whatever. I guess I won't time it. Gotta hit it. You want to hit a ramp, because you'll slide off of it. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. And we're at the vampire castle.
Yeah.
You can go pretty fast in this game, is what I'm trying to say. I missed Solitude. I kind of overshot Solitude a little bit there. We don't know what that castle is. We'll be going there a lot later. Hang on. Oh god, rocks everywhere, rocks. The fact that this isn't crashing, by the way, is a testament to how much more stable SE is, and I mean that legitimately. Oh, here's Solitude. Wait, hang on. Hey, let me go this way for a few miles, and then we'll go this way for a few miles. Oh, hang on, back this way for a few miles. Gotta get up this ramp. Did I make it? Did I make it? Nope. Okay, God. Hang on. Okay. There we go. We're up. No, we're back down. Okay, now we're up. And we're at Solitude. There we go. We made it. Whew. Okay. Hey, what's up?
If you've come to Solitude to join the legions.
Nope. Yeah. No, hang on. Rock. Tiny ledge. There we go. Hey, there was Rorikstead. Hey, some guy from you is dead, just so you know. You probably didn't hear me. And Whiterun. Although we didn't quite make it. There we go, Whiterun. Anyways, let's set this back to something a little bit more reasonable. There we go. There's your speed. The fact that you can just set speed is awesome. You can do that in Fallout 3 as well, actually. They took a lot of lessons from Fallout 3. In fact, can I share one other thing I really like about Skyrim? This is going to sound really petty. Watch this. I want to type 5563. Well, in Morrowind and Oblivion, I have to do this. Okay, so that happens. In Skyrim, I can do this. If you don't understand the significance, it actually acknowledges the numpad in the console command. Yeah, the 10 key is active. Now, I know that that's a very minor thing, but I'm the kind of person who every time I do a number, I do it with the numpad. I'm much faster, and it's much more intuitive for me to type on the numpad, the 10 key, than it is to type on wherever the numbers are over here. So, I like that. A lot. Anyways. Oh, wait, we need to set our speed up. Oop, there we go. Whee. So here's your speed, just for you guys. Whoops. Hang on. Where am I going? Oh, I am literally right in front of where I want to be, which is right here. It's possible that's the special edition that did that, but I'm pretty sure Fallout 3 started that. Don't quote me on that, though. Alright. Why are there so many bandits in Skyrim? It's not like there's a huge amount of unemployment thanks to a massive war that displaced a huge number of people and suddenly found themselves out of a job because they were trained killers and soldiers who suddenly had nowhere to go. It's not like the Thalmor have been mass exodusing people from territories they've claimed. No. Oh yeah, by the way, the world has gone to hell in Skyrim, and that's not really a joke. It really isn't. Oops. There it is. Found it.
Time to end this game.
Oh, sorry, Carbon. Probably in about 3 days, I'd say, off the top of my head. It'll be on my Twitter. Sneak? Sneak? Oh. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. Wake up, Laura. Wake up.
To end this little game.
Okay. Oh, I just have to hit this lever and then we're good. Oh no, it's a trap! I was very surprised by that. What's Tweeter? Yeah, no, I am legitimately saying the world has gone to hell. I am not actually kidding about that statement. The world is basically worse in almost every way. There is no more unified cultural influence. There is no more singular source of power. Most of the provinces have descended into infighting or fighting amongst each other. So, in other words, fighting within themselves and then fighting the other provinces. Vardenfell exploded. And there's been a general just kind of a decline across the entirety of the continent. Not just the Empire, but everything in every facet of life. Even magic has started getting to the point where it's becoming a lot more rare and a lot less properly used. The Aldmeri Dominion has risen to a degree of prominence, and yet the funny thing is, if you really read about the Aldmeri Dominion, they're not actually as strong as they... Really, Tazara? They're not really as strong as they otherwise could be. Basically, the Aldmeri Dominion was making a very brief military play to try and expand their territory slightly. What happened as a result, though, is they didn't realize how weak the fourth... I'm going to just call it the Fourth Empire, because it's a different empire than the one under the Symptoms. Let's just all agree on that, okay? Agree with me. So, they didn't realize how weak the Fourth Empire was. They went for a quick territory grab, and the Fourth Empire basically said, yeah, go ahead, and didn't resist, like, at all. So then the Aldmeri Dominion were like, oh, okay, we'll take this too. And then they just, like, waited to see if anyone would stop them. Okay, now we'll take this, and this, and this, and this, and this. They actually overreached themselves. The main reason that the Tamrillian Empire, the Fourth Empire, exists as an independent state is because the Aldmeri Dominion literally doesn't have the personnel to occupy it, basically. Imagine for a moment, if you will, to continue our real-life parallels, imagine if Nazi Germany suddenly conquered Russia, like they had actually succeeded in taking it. Holding on to that territory? Unlikely. They were already having trouble holding on to France, if you'll remember, at that point in history. They just didn't have the capacity to hold it. And there's plenty of examples of this in real life. Byzantines, Italy. There you go. There's your example. When the Byzantines under Justinian, I want to say, I think it was Justinian, retook Italy and couldn't hold it, there's your direct example. Now, anyways, so let me go ahead and explain why, for those of you who are new to my show, or those of you who are people that Tazara wants me to refer to directly, let me explain why I use cheats for a lore run. Because A, I've played the game before, so I can discuss things like gameplay mechanics and concepts without having to actually showcase them, as I've been doing for like the last hour and a half. I've almost universally been talking about gameplay stuff. Second point, a lore run is designed to go through and discuss the history and the culture and the people and the stories and the quests and the plots and the concepts, to discuss the lore of the game and the setting. So if I was to go through here without cheating, which I know from extensive experience, because it actually took me a while to get to the point where I was willing to accept cheating for lore runs, what will happen is I'll be like, okay, let me talk about this, and let me go do this quest and talk about this, and then I will go silent for about half an hour or more as I get caught up to the next point where I have something to say, because there's simply too many large sections of game where there's just nothing to talk about, or I've already discussed the only thing there is to talk about. The point of cheats is to make it so that there's more moments like this than moments like this. Or in other words, if you don't get it, sections of gameplay with nothing to say or nothing to discuss or nothing to talk about. Makes sense? Anyway, so this should actually be snake, whale.
Of course you follow me. They all do.
There we are. Let me go ahead and also add, really quick here, that I've already given praise to Skyrim's dungeon design. I think they did a lot better job with the puzzles. They're still not, like, the best puzzles in any game ever, but I do think they're definitively better than they have been in previous Elder Scrolls games. My only complaint is they use this puzzle a little bit too much, the triple spiral thing. Just a little bit too much of that. Yeah, there should have been more variety. But I do think this type of puzzle, and some of the puzzles we'll showcase later, especially when we do the Thieves Guild quest, was better, basically. Like it's better than what they've done in the past. So, that's kind of awesome. Oh yeah, this is a good time to mention that crafting is completely freaking broken in this game. Yep. Get back here. What are you doing, rat? Where'd he go? There you are. Stupid rat. The claw puzzles? We'll discuss those when we get there. What I find funny, though, about the fact that crafting is so broken, is the fact that crafting has always been broken in the Elder Scrolls series. Literally always. Anytime there's been crafting in an Elder Scrolls game, you can just break it in half. By the way, thanks to Zara. Just... and make it into this super doom thing. Oh god! It's... Web bears! No! Sorry.
Keep it away from me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hang on, I'll need to see who just donated. And I can just alt-tab in Skyrim because it doesn't crash my game like previous ones would. I keep saying that. I'm gonna make it crash. Okay, so I have a... it's a donation from Vigilant. So first of all, thank you very much, Vigilant. Interesting. Well, thank you. That's a cool quote, and I see where you're going with that.
Get me out of here. You, over here.
So do you guys trust Dunmer?
You did it. You killed it. Now cut me down before anything else shows up.
Okay.
Yes, the claw. I know how it works. The claw, the markings, the door in the Hall of Stories. I know how they all fit together. Help me down and I'll show you. You won't believe the power the Nords have hidden there.
Give me the claw first.
Does it look like I can move? You have to cut me down first.
Okay.
It's coming loose. I can feel it.
There you go. Now you're definitely not going to betray me, right?
Fool. Why should I share the treasure with anyone?
Right. Go on, keep going. Keep on going.
Is someone there?
I mean, there's me. Do I count? So these are Draugr. We'll be seeing a lot of them. Oh, he's dead. Aw, well, I'll take that key. There we go. I like that type of trap, by the way. So, a couple things I like about this trap, if I could just talk about it design-wise for a second. First of all, if you're looking for it, or if you're taking your time, especially if you're sneaking, those trap things are super obvious. So it's like, yep, okay, just go right around it. And it is possible to get around it, right? If you're going at a more normal pace, and just swinging your sword like, it is a little bit easier to miss. They're also not lethal, at least not unless you're already really low damage, and you can hit enemies with them. In fact, one of the things I used to do for fun is trigger one, specifically to kill Draugr with them. Also Zug. My favorite lace based on lore? Oh, Argonian, easily. Which you might be able to tell based on my current predilections here. Anyways, I do like most of the traps in this game in general, better than, previous games. They do reuse some of the same ones, but the hurt boxes are a lot better designed on them. So you don't have the situation where you're standing here. Hang on. Oh, here you go. There you go. Love it. Anyways. You don't have the situation where you get hurt and you really shouldn't have been, or it pushes you out of the way, and blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, it's a Draugr! Whatever will I do? Oh god. Yeah. Come on. There we go. Come on over the fire, buddy. Oh, it didn't kill you. Okay. So these are the redone Draugr. If you remember, we actually saw Draugr once before, all the way back in Solstheim in Morrowind. Oh yeah, there's other ways to light those on fire too. If you have the fire spell, you can do it. If you have a fire arrow, you can do it. I don't remember if you can shoot an arrow through a flame. Anyone confirm or deny that? You know, Zelda 64 style. Draugr don't like fire, though. I'm not sure why. Okay, yes, you can. Thank you, Bragman. Yeah, I really don't like the archery in this game, so I don't do it. And it's really hard to discuss why I don't like the archery, but the best way to put it is that it feels more like shooting a gun than shooting a bow. Which one's the one? Hi. Crossbows are probably better. I say probably, I've never actually used them in this game. Although, you know, obvious joke, they finally re-added crossbows back to the series. Finally, it's only been 2 games. Oh yeah, one thing I should mention, so each lock has a difficulty rating. The difficulty rating affects a few things, but the most important thing it affects is 2 things. First of all, in order to unlock a chest, there's like an arrow, a wedge, along that semicircle, and that's the part you have to hit. The lower the difficulty, the wider the wedge. Very simple. So in other words, when you're doing the really high difficult stuff... That's odd. When you're doing the really high difficult stuff, it's basically just a tiny little sliver. The second thing it affects is how likely your lockpicks are to break. On a low difficulty one, you could fail like 6 or 7 times and the lockpick's fine. On a high difficulty one, usually you get 1 to 3 failures before snap. So... Oh yeah, you know another thing I like about Skyrim? Multiple autosaves. Anyway, so from Latin to early Italian, actually there is an explanation for that, an in-character explanation for that, and that would be basically the Medes dynasty kind of taking over. You'll notice there are still a few Latin-styled Imperials throughout the Empire, at least the ones we encounter. So here's the claw puzzles. Now, I'm an idiot, I'll admit this. So on several of these, I had issues really understanding the clues and figuring out what exactly it wanted from me. It's like, okay, butterflies, and then, like, weird, creepy thingies, and then, like, bird things, I don't even frickin' know. And then flame things, right? So from that, I can infer absolutely nothing. I have no idea what it wants me to do. I don't remember. I really don't. These usually boil down to a little bit of... what's it called? Trial and error. Trial and error to do this. Yeah, it took me an extremely long time to understand that the way you're actually supposed to figure this out is to do... this. That's the solution right there, guys. Yeah, it's bear, feather, looks like thingy, owl. So. Oh yeah, this may sound like a weird thing, but we can interact with multiple objects at once. That's not completely new, but it's a little smoother than it has been in previous Elder Scrolls games. misremembering, aren't I? Hang on, hang on. Bear feather thingy. Bear feather. Bear butter. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and admit that it took me a really long time to learn that factoid. I spent a huge amount of time my first playthrough looking at all the murals like, okay, yeah, maybe it's this one, or maybe it's this order, or is it this order? Oh, there's another mural. There's 8 murals, but there's only 3 things. So how does 8 equal to 3? Well, this one's the butterflies, so maybe that's it. And I don't know. And again, I just kind of started trial and erroring it. It took, God, I don't even know how long. It took quite a while before I found out about the under this claw thing. I'm a moron. So, you know one thing I love about Skyrim? I don't know if this is an area that I can do that in. Where's the boss? Oh. Well, okay. There's no boss here. So I just want you to pretend with me, okay? Can you do that for a second? So, pretend I've just entered here, okay? There's a couple times this happens, and I'll probably not do this. That's why I'm explaining in a vacuum here. And pretend there's a boss over there. Now, here's what's going to happen. The boss is like, "At last, you have reached the realm of my lair. Now that you are here, I will show you how blah, 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 blah. And in conclusion, you must now die." And then he aggroes you, right? Well, Skyrim doesn't take away control of the character when you do that. So there's a couple scenes where what happens is, "I am the boss, and I am..." Oh, God! Thud. And I love that it lets you do that. Whoosh. Come on. Pop out. Thank you. I mean, I don't care about loot. My what happened? It did. It legitimately died. It, like, crashed. What the hell? Hang on. That's strange. It's not often I have MP Classic frickin' crash on me. Hang on, hang on. Let me pull it back up. Where are we? We're Skyrim. Skyrim. Let me make sure it's set to loop properly. It should be. It was looping earlier. Yeah, no, it's looping. Okay, whatever. Anyways. What? He has quest loot? I guess he does. Damn it! Hate looting. Anyways. Hey, what's that? I'm sure that's probably totally irrelevant. Anyways. I need to decide what armor I'm going to wear in this playthrough. Because I don't have any mod armor that looks cool. Oh yeah, there's one other thing, and I've praised this in many games before. In fact, I was just talking about this in the Shivering Isles. In Skyrim, the dungeons have shortcuts to the exit, like bam. And that is awesome quest design. I sincerely doubt it, Sean. Quick dungeon exits is an awesome thing. It should be, some form of that should be in basically every game. No, I found Frostmourne, but not for the special edition. Yeah, I'm running very, very few mods. In fact, hang on a second. What? Alright, someone go kill someone. He's provably wrong. Just real quick. Just make it a quick murder. Just super quick. Oh yeah, can I say something I hate about Skyrim Special Edition? Like, legitimately, this bugs the crap out of me. Other than the fact that now it's trying to update. What are you doing? Thank you, Eingrad. Okay, here we go. So, the only way to actually set up mods and mod load order in Skyrim SE is to go through this. And this is irritating. And I hate it. Then you have to do this. And you can actually see. So here's the mods I actually do have. The unofficial patch. Insects Be Gone for all the things. The cheat mod. And that is basically it, because Sky UI, I know it says it's off there. I have tried to get this thing turned on literally like 7 or 8 times. It's never turned on. Anyways, so moving on. Yeah, I know, right? Dream Whisperer. Ridiculous crap. Anyways. Oh. There we go. Well, actually, to be 100% honest, there isn't a lot of lore to discuss in Skyrim that we haven't already discussed. There just isn't. There's not a huge amount of new stuff here. We will be discussing some of the aspects of the war and what happened in between. We'll be discussing, you know, the pretty clouds. Those are very pretty. But as far as actual lore, not a lot there. So here's Riverwood. Yay! Oh, yeah, right. You want me to try on the fashion, so hang on. Okay, what do we got here? So we got Dragonborn. This is all Dragonborn stuff. Is that it? Where's the other armor? Ew. I suppose we could talk about the Civil War, such as it is, but I'm not. Let's see here. Radiant scrolls, potions, ammo, standard weapons, soul jump, staves. Well, that's creepy. Dawnguard weapons and armor. Anything look cool in Dawnguard, guys? Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the Great War. So, for those of you not aware, there's an incident that happened called the Great War. Now, I actually already talked about the intro to it. What happened was the Aldmeri Dominion was like, you know, we want more territory. And so some people are like, okay, that's not cool. How about you don't take more territory? And the Aldmeri Dominion was like, but we really, really want it. So they started some territorial grabs, and it was originally intended to be just basically a simple land grab. Something, you know, an everyday kind of a thing. Well, then they kind of, as I mentioned before, the Empire didn't really push back the way they needed to. And so the Dominion was like, oh, you're super weak. Oh, man, I didn't realize how weak you were. So they kind of kept conquering. Now, those continued conquests were pretty much unabated. It also doesn't help that there's a fairly large amount of evidence to indicate that the reason the Argonians, previous to this, actually invaded Morrowind was at the direct behest of the Thalmor. That Thalmor agents and Thalmor diplomats are the ones who pushed them, saying, hey, you know those Dunmer guys? You know how they suck? Well, I think you should go kill the crap out of them. So they did. And the Argonians swept Morrowind. Absolutely crushed it. The Dunmer had no chance at all to survive that invasion. We'll actually be seeing some more of that when we get to the Dragonborn expansion later on. I'm not seeing anything that's really jumping out at me so far here. So, hey. I could use the Nightingale armor. It is my default in this one, but I kind of want to do something different just this once. So with the invasion of Morrowind, and Morrowind basically physically incapable of assisting the Empire, that basically left the Empire, the Nords, and the Red Guards. Now, if you've paid attention to me before, you'll know that the Empire has historically rested on the power of the Nords and the Red Guards. Those two beings pretty much being, like I'm going to use the visual metaphor here again. Picture the Cyrodiils, the Nords, and the Red Guards. This has been the Empire since time immemorial. The Britons, some helped and some didn't, and the Khajiit, well, the Khajiit were on the side of the Dominion, because the Khajiit believe in signs and prophecy, and the Dominion probably faked that. Is that an ice cream truck? See, after the Oblivion Crisis, which I remind you actually affected everywhere, even though, you know, there's really not a lot of indication of that in Oblivion. Where's all the regular armor, guys? Yeah, the Orcish troops, that's also true. The Oblivion Crisis, the Thalmor, okay. Let me rewind for a second here. The main reason the Thalmor were able to rise to prominence is twofold. The first reason is the fact that basically Altmeri supremacy is the word I want to use for this, is a little bit too on the rise recently. Now, the whys and the wherefores, that's up to you. I have no idea why it's become such a big thing. You may feel free to insert whatever reason you want to for why it is that several of the Altmer have become kind of lately. But regardless of reasoning, it is a definitive problem that the Altmeri have been pushing more and more towards Altmeri supremacy. We'll get to that a little bit later, so on, but basically the Argonians won that encounter by quite a bit. Anyways, so the Thalmor were starting to get on the rise pretty much as of Oblivion's time. Then the Oblivion Crisis happened, and as soon as that started happening, well, things started going topsy-turvy. Remember, those Oblivion gates were opening everywhere. Oh, there's the Nightingale stuff. I'll go and grab that while I'm here. So, ooh, glass. I wonder what glass looks like in this one. So the Thalmor got together and started this coordinated attempt to push back against, you know, the Daedric invasion. Then we won the game back in Oblivion, and then the Daedric portals all closed. So the Thalmor, and I stress the way I'm phrasing this, specifically the Thalmor decided to say, oh yeah, that was us. That was us. We did that. And they basically just took credit for it. Because they were able to successfully take credit for it, and the fact that people were already kind of being a little bit pro-Altmer, pro-supremacy, the Thalmor started gaining more and more and more and more power, until the point where the Thalmor effectively ran the Aldmeri Dominion. So, now that we're caught up a little bit, next major thing that happens is the advance of the war, which I mentioned earlier. During those initial advances, during when they tried to Poland things up a little bit, the Empire tried to intervene, and that didn't go so well. Right about this time, something else really horrible happened. See, there was an organization called the Red Guards. Now, they're kind of awesome. Now, the thing is, the Empire was stumbling and failing so terribly that the Aldmeri were able to claim a decent amount of territory of the Red Guards area before, you know, a significant response could be made. Then the Dominion basically crushed the Empire militarily. So, they approached the Empire, said, hey, accede to our demands or screw you. I think you can, Shadow Machine, yes. Yes, an organization. They're just an organization, Junkin, nothing else. What do you want from me, dude? Anyways, so the Dominion basically gave their demands. The Empire said, no, piss off. And the Dominion said, okay, by the way, we have a gift for you. Here's the heads of every one of your Blades agents in the Somerset Isles. Topple, topple. Have fun. Bye. We're at war now. Peace. Anyways. So yeah, the Empire got the stuffing kicked out of it during that war. They didn't do so hot. Ah, here we go. One of the provisos for the peace treaty that... Okay, let me rewind 1 second. So some people don't really understand this, but a lot of times in older real-life history, during what I refer to as the era of the Casus Belli, war was waged not to actually directly conquer, but specifically to increase sway at the negotiation table, if that makes any sense. Yes, I know, Zawan. I know. That doesn't change anything I've said, dude. I hope so, Skystrax. Anyways, so the Aldmeri Dominion was militarily incapable of actually claiming and legitimately holding the Cyrodiilic Empire. I mentioned that earlier. So instead, they crushed them militarily and then said, okay, we're going to force you to the negotiation table. You're going to accede to our demands. The end. And the Empire was like, okay. Now, there were several demands. The biggest ones, the most important ones for the sake of the story and for the sake of Skyrim itself, are, number one, Talos is not a god. He didn't descend. He didn't mantle. We'll talk more about that later because it's relevant for other things. All you need to know right now is they forced the entire country to change their religion from the 9s to the 8. That is a pretty significant thing. Second thing they did was they insisted that the Thalmor, specifically the Thalmor, by the way, have what is effectively adversarial? God, there's a way to phrase that. Anyways, advisor oversight over imperial matters. There's a reason so many imperial institutions and locations in this game have at least one Thalmor there too, because they literally have the authority to do that. And the third thing they did was that all those territorial claims that they made in Hammerfell had to be ratified legally. Now again, advisorial. The Empire had lost this war, so they were like, okay. And they pushed out a book called The Talos Mistake, I think is what it's called. Now the Red Guards really didn't like that. Like, really. Oh yeah, the Blades were disbanded too, although the Blades had basically stopped existing anyways because they were hunted to practical extinction, but I'll get to that more later. Well, I mean, it's true, Slaver. Anyways, so the Red Guards were very unhappy about this, legitimately infuriated. So the Red Guards split from the Empire, said, nope, we're out. And then they waged a war successfully and kicked the Aldmeri out of Hammerfell. Because the Red Guards are awesome. Now, the downside, of course, if you're paying attention, you remember what I said earlier, okay? Hi, Spinobi. Yeah, without mages. Without freaking mages. Now remember, Cyrodiil, Nords, Red Guards, okay? Because if you're paying attention, and this is strategic, this is precise on behalf of the Thalmor, they had to ban worship of Talos, who the Nords have claimed was a Nord, that may or may not be true, for literally forever. The Nords have always venerated Talos as their chief deity. What's the one? I have no idea what Zoan's talking about right now, so I'm just going to move on. They have always venerated Talos as their chief deity. So the Nords were not really happy about this. The Red Guards were kicked out of effectively separated from the Empire by this whole thing. So they're gone too. In one swift political maneuver, the Thalmor have sliced what's left of the Empire away from their two biggest and strongest allies. I have no idea what you're talking about at this point, Zawan. I'm just going to assume Zawan's crazy and move on. Guys, Zawan's crazy. I think he's losing it. He's just randomly naming provinces. Talos was Tiber, or Tiber was Talos, or Talos was always Tiber, or maybe Tiber became Talos, or, look, whatever. The point being, things did not go well for them. Talos was a lot of things for a lot of people. Okay, so let's see what Dwarven armor looks like. What? No, no. Dwarven armor. Oh, I didn't get the rest of the Dwarven? Ah, whatever. Let's see what Ebony looks like. That's nice. I kind of like that, actually. That might be my favorite Ebony suit right there. That's pretty cool. Oh, yeah, by the way, another thing I like about Skyrim, the helmets don't look like crap. Yeah, okay, so on. So, Ebony is an option here. Glass? Oh my god, is this the first game where glass doesn't look like crap? Holy god, I can't believe it. What else we got here? I've got the Nightingale stuff, just in case. What else we have? How do I drop something? Oh, here we go. No, drop. I don't want to... Okay, apparently F is drop. Got it. Okay, whatever. I think you were right. Okay, where's the armor thing? Whoop, The orcs have always been a wild card in any given political situation. Yeah, no, it was F, Django. It was F. I need a glass helmet. There it is. God, this lack of music is actually killing me. I think I'm about to go legitimately insane. Yeah, Orsinium is now gone again. Actually, I'm going to try to get the rest of the Dwarven soon. Hang on. One more, guys. Give me just a minute. Sorry. Sorry for indulging. So, Dwarven. Let's see what do we got here. Dwarven. Whip. Did I miss one? Nope. Dwarven. Silence. Endless silence. There we go. Dwarven helmet. Ooh, Imperial helmet looks kind of cool. Yeah, the main reason that the Argonians didn't conquer all of Morrowind is because they didn't try to. Although I suppose in the interest of fairness, Redoran does to be mentioned too. But I've already kind of talked about everything about Redoran and that. I've already covered all that. That's why I'm not really interested in rehashing that right now. There we go. Boots, gauntlets. I think that's everything. Both, Nose Wager. Although back in the day, back in the old Empire, it was pretty much universally recruitment. That actually looks kind of cool. I like that. What do you guys think? We got Dwemer, we got Ebony, and we got Glass. I mean, I guess we could just vary now and again. It's not like it matters. This is all we're going to see the whole game. Anyways, how do I get out of here? We'll just do that. Screw it. Some will, Hariant, but for the most part, no. Okay. So... Right, so you still want me to talk about the war. So hang on, let me kill something. There we go. Let's talk about the war. So with the war effectively concluded with the White Gold Concordat, which is what they called that, everything kind of went to crap. And very soon after, that's when the Stormcloak Rebellion really got started. Now, the Stormcloak Rebellion is actually relatively recent, because what actually happened before the Stormcloak Rebellion was the Forsworn incident. I actually have no idea, Slifer. Apparently there is. I'll trust Django on this. The Forsworn incident was... God, I'm trying to think how to summarize it. So, okay. Over here, there's a whole section, I believe it's called the Reach? Yeah, over here in Markarth. And there were a few Forsworn who got up. They weren't actually called that at the time. And they were like, "Rawr, we will rebel!" And they were immediately put down. One of the people who was actually sent in to put them down was Ulfric. And Ulfric, as a result of his interactions with what would become the Forsworn, kind of started being like, you know what? I think these guys have the right of it. Yeah, let's rebel, and then I'll be High King with my own hookers and my own... Yeah, so anyways, he then pretty much took that idea and ran with it and went off to Solitude to murder the High King. in cold blood in full view of everyone. For some reason, this actually didn't go over all that well. And that led to the Stormcloak Rebellion. Now you might think, oh my god, the Stormcloaks must be a major military power, but actually not really. The only reason that the Stormcloaks have actually been able to do anything in the Civil War is because they have managed to convince a significant portion of the actual cities and the local militias and whatnot to join them, and the fact that the Empire's kind of crap right now. So... what I'm trying to say is if, I don't know, for example, during Morrowind's time, or even better, Daggerfall's time, if Ulfric had tried his crap then, he would have been stomped. Oh yeah, the High King was also a child. I forget how young. He was pretty young. I will personally disagree with that, Black Vial, but it is worth noting, in the interest of total honesty, that he said, I challenge you to a fight, and the High King said, I accept, and then he murdered him. It's kind of, see, the reason I say murder without hesitation is because it's kind of the equivalent of saying, walking up to saying someone, I, Bob, challenge you, Bob the Second, to a duel. And Bob the Second says, very well. Swords? Swords! And then the first guy pulls out a gun and shoots him. I'm sorry, what, Django? God, text is going by so fast, I'm actually having trouble keeping up with it today. No. Not you guys, sorry, something. Just, what? No. Oh, in Sovngarde. I was about to call you crazy, Django. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Of course, if you'll remember, there are no teenagers in this game, if you'll remember. Anyone remember that? This was the first Elder Scrolls game to ever actually introduce children. Now, the problem was there's only two types of things. There is a kid, and then there is an adult. And you are one of the other. Now, there's actually a fat flag in the game that marks someone as a kid or as an adult. There's actually a kid-flagged person who has an adult's body in Markarth, I'm pretty sure. It's either in Markarth or in Falkreath. I actually forget which. Anyways, the relevant point here is that that's because they hadn't figured out how to do teenagers yet. So, you're either a kid, or you're an adult with a kid's flag. So, and yeah, you always look the same age range, too. I mean, it's a nice step forward. It's another step forward. And if the leak about 6 is correct, then, you know, this is continuing to step forward to what will eventually become 7. But, yeah. Anyways, I'm getting way off topic. I guess I don't actually have anything else to say about the war. The Great War. It's called the Great War for a frickin' reason. It was probably one of the most devastating wars in recent history. And it's also a war that was either being waged for horrific reasons.
I think you might be sick.
Oh, hi. You're Vigilant of Stendar. You're cool. It was either a war that was waged because of, you know, violence and aggression and genocidal racist supremacy, or it was a war waged because the elves want to be literally gods and are trying to rewrite reality. Take your pick. Oh god, I honestly don't even remember Zawan, and I can't check without leveling, and I really don't want to level, so... Yeah, the odds of a new war coming is incredibly high. Legitimately, like, okay, if I was writing Elder Scrolls 6, the only reason I would say that a new war isn't already happening is because the Aldmeri don't have the literal ability to wage such a war in terms of manpower and resources. Again, I parallel it to Nazi Germany. At a certain point, they're just running out of personnel. And that was an actual problem they were having. Yeah, I may? God, how do I even check that? Ah, here we go. Active effects. Oh no! Bone break fever! That's funny. Well, no, okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's talk about this. Oh yeah, by the way, can I just say that it pisses me off that Ulfric ends up in Sovngarde? That really gets to me. Anyways, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the debatable about the war. So, hang on. First of all. Second of all, it is debatable why the war was being waged in the first place. Now, there are two ways to look at this. There's a more mundane way, and then there's the Michael Kirkbride way. Now, I've basically already told you everything about the mundane way. They were trying to break the Empire into pieces, divide and conquer, pushed the Nords out, pushed the Red Guards out. So all you got left is High Rock and Cyrodiil, so, the core Empire, and that's basically it. Loose ties, very loose ties to the Dunmer, and that's basically it. Sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you said 5, not 6. There's going to be one school of magic. It's just going to be called magic. Anyways, well, yeah, exactly, Akatsuki. So they beat everyone up. They forced them to change their religion to something to show their dominance. Blah blah blah. All that stuff, right? Or they were trying to reset reality so men never existed. Now, this is kind of weird, so you're going to have to forgive me as I fail to explain this. But the idea here is that they were deliberately trying to cause a removal of worship of one of the legitimate divines, Talos, who, remember, as I've pointed out, is someone we could prove with high certainty actually exists and is actually some kind of Aedra or divine or whatever the hell you want to actually call it. Yeah, no kidding, Django. And by basically forcing people to discontinue worship of that. And it's worth noting, the Thalmor roam around actively policing religion, like trying to hunt down signs of Talos, or kill people, or Talos, or anything like that. Just trying to actually force Talos worship out of existence. Because, as we know in this setting, it is a definitive provable that the more you are worshipped, the more that power literally manifests. That's one of the reasons Vivek was able to hold on to a tiny scrap of his divinity even after he lost his connection to the heart, whatever that was. So they want to remove all worship of what they believe to be one of the cornerstones of the way reality is, and one with which is supposedly one that has retroactively altered all of reality in order to better suit men, so that reality will basically be reset, and none of them will have ever existed, but the new reality that will pop up into its place will be one in which men never were invented, and all of it is myrrh. It's basically everything, Anthony. They lack troops, they lack resources, they lack good leaders. They are a rotting corpse. They're the old Republic. Easiest way to say to that. Now, I'm going to try and explain. I feel like I just failed at explaining that, so let me try one more time. You remember how in Oblivion, when we lift Nocturnal's curse off of the Grey Fox's cloak, history was retroactively changed? You remember that? The idea here is that the Thalmor are trying to retroactively make it so that men were never invented. And if that happens, they theorize that not only will it be a world completely dominated by the Altmer, but also that the Altmer will have never lost their divinity. Now, it's worth noting that even if this is actually their particular strategy, there's no strong evidence that the Altmer are actually descended from divinity. That's pure myth, and nothing whatsoever gives any credence to that other than myths, okay? And I want to stress that, because even if this is what they're trying to do, because we know retroactive continuity is a thing, in lore, provably and definitively, in the Elder Scrolls. So even if they rework... Yes, they literally have a no-men policy. Oh my god. So even if the Thalmor no-men the world, that doesn't mean the new Thalmor that exist in the new reality are going to be divine. In fact, I would say it's a pretty high chance they won't be divine. They'll just be myrrh all over the place. Now, if you want to ask me my opinion like what I think, what my analysis is of this whole thing, I think it's a mixture of both. I think there are some Thalmor who legitimately are doing this specifically to try and rewrite reality, to retroactively remove men from existence. I do think that's true. I don't think they'll succeed. It would simply be too hard for them to actually remove Talos worship from everywhere. And, if I could be so bold, I don't think that it is quite going to work out the way they want it to. However, I would say that the majority of the reason why the Dominion did the actions it did was because of the more mundane reasons, like I already mentioned. You know, the dividing of the Empire, the bringing down of the men to subservient, blah, 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 right? That's my take on it, that it's a little bit of a mixture of both. Also, you know what would be really funny? Anybody who saw my Elder Scrolls 6 conversation video knows that I had a theory about, you know, the Akaviri invading, being Elder Scrolls 6. It'd be funny if the next war starts, and then there's like, yeah, and so then the Thalmor are like, rah, and the men are like, rah, and the Nords are like, rah, and then the Akaviri are like, oh, hi. Nice continent you got here. Do you have a flag? But yeah, that's exactly what I think Bullenfell, like I said earlier. So, yeah, no kidding, Nils Wager. Anyways, now that we've talked lore for like 30 minutes, is this enough lore for you guys? Can I go back to playing the game? What the hell's the quest journal? Oh, God. There it is. We're good. We're good. Okay. Yeah, okay, we're good. Let's just do this. Let's just do this. We kind of skipped a step here. I think? Maybe we didn't. Hang on. Yes, the Akaviri are British and Japanese. Hey, Hardbar.
It's nice to be back in a friendly spot, huh?
Oh, yeah. So let me say something that I both like and don't like about Elder Scrolls. Or, excuse me, about Skyrim. So, instead of the hello, have you heard of the High Elves thing that they've always done before, they do this.
Listen, you should go to Solitude and join up with the Imperial Legion. We could really use someone like you. And if the rebels have themselves a dragon, General Tullius is the only one who can stop them.
So, I like that for a couple of reasons. First of all, it is a little bit more, I guess the word is immersive. It takes you out of the game less. It also would work better if there was proper co-op in these games, because the world doesn't freeze when one player talks to an NPC. The other player can still interact with things. Thing is, the world doesn't freeze when you talk to them. So this can lead to some problems. In fact, I've actually seen this happen. Yeah, I talked about the Akaviri extensively, Anthony. In fact, I don't have anything else to add to them in this game at all. Now, we will be talking about the Atmorans a little bit more. So, so let me just give you an example, and this has actually happened to me more than a couple times. So here's the guy I'm talking to. Hello. So I'm talking to him. Hello. Yes, I think this. Yes, I think that. I mean, how many times have you had that happen? Yeah, I've had NPCs die. I've had NPCs literally be shoved out of the way. I've been shoved out of the way. I've had one guy like roam over and fall off like an edge of a rock. There are still some issues. Mostly Oblivion, but also Morrowind, Anthony. The Solstheim section specifically. I know, right, Django? Anyways, so like I said, I both like and dislike this. One of the reasons I also dislike this is because, yeah, getting attacked by a bear. Combat can intercede with things. Of course we have one. Why wouldn't we? Combat can intercede in things. And of course, people can talk over each other. There's already kind of a problem in Elder Scrolls games of people talking over each other. But in Skyrim, it's a pretty big problem. I've had it happen a lot where someone's talking and I'm trying to hear them over the person over there.
Oh, I know it.
You really think I should enjoy the Imperial Legion?
Of course. I know today wasn't the best introduction to the Legion, but I hope you'll give us another chance. The Legion could really use someone like you, especially now. And if the rebels have themselves a dragon, General Tullius is the only one who can stop them.
Really? He ordered my execution.
I don't blame you for being angry about it. I would be too in your shoes. But it was all a mistake. You weren't supposed to be on that cult with those Stormcloak traitors. And the Imperial Legion needs your help. Especially now with that dragon out there somewhere and Ulfric back on the loose.
So maybe we could do something together.
I hope so. The Legion is Skyrim's only hope right now. Come on, we better get moving.
Well, okay. Never should have come here. Oh, sorry. Going insane for a second. Oh, hang on. We gotta say hi to someone over here.
Orgnar, are you listening?
Hard not to.
The ale is going bad. We need to get a new batch. Did you hear me?
Yep, ale's going bad.
I guess you don't have potatoes in your ears after all. Just make sure we get a fresh batch in soon.
I hate her.
Come on in. We got warm food.
Yeah, that's
warm
nice.
Drinks.
God, I can't stand Delphine. One thing I've noticed is a near universal. Like, people argue about, pro Stormcloaks or pro Imperials, or whether you should go with the Civil War thing, or whether you should, whatever. I've heard all sorts of arguments. But one thing I've never heard is someone who actually likes Delphine. I'm sure they exist. I guarantee you someone's going to say, oh, I like Delphine right now, just to be different. But I've never met anyone who actually likes Delphine. Anyways. So, I like that too, Inquisitor. Why the Thalmor failed to kill her? Well, the Thalmor are actually kind of stupid, if you pay attention. No, okay. Why do I hate Delphine? Guys, I think Sean likes Delphine. I want you to hunt him down and teach him the truth about Delphine. Through torture. Wait, we're not playing Shivering Isles anymore. We don't have to torture anyone. Okay. Who? Orient? I didn't care for her in general. She's a little bit rude, and I don't like rudeness. And she is rather bossy, and I really don't like bossy. Then she ordered us to kill Parthenox and said, "You don't understand. We exist to kill dragons. All we are for is killing dragons, and we must kill dragons." And she started frothing in the mouth, and okay, I'm exaggerating slightly, but you get my point. Anyways, so why don't we do some quests? That sounds like a good idea. What do we got here? Yeah, she's not. That's true. She's also not competent, bossy. I'll agree with that. How do we get this quest? Why don't we do this? Now, I don't want dragons to be attacking yet, so we're actually going to do a couple other quests before we allow dragons to exist. This is the moment to basically go do other stuff. Dragons won't spawn until you go talk to him and then fight your first dragon over by the tower. So, we're going to head over this way. Oh yeah, actually, can I mention one thing I do like and also dislike?
You're interfering with official Thalmor business.
Sorry.
Do you mind swinging that somewhere else?
Of course. By your command. There we go. Last witness killed. Bounty removed. I love that. What do we got here? I actually do like Thalmor garb, like cosmetically, which irritates me because I literally refuse to wear it. There we go. Where is the prisoner? Prisoner, hello. Where'd the prisoner go? Whatever. Favorite city? Whiterun. I like Whiterun's layout. I like its Jarl. And I like the quests there. What about you guys? What's your favorite city in Skyrim? The game I'm playing right now. Hello?
Greetings, brother. You look weary. I have something to help you relax if you're interested.
I do too! Anyways, Anyways, moving on. Windhelm? Oh, right. Windhelm is the horribly disgusting place. Although it does start the best quest chain in the vanilla game, so I'll give you that. Hey, it's a giant. Well, it was a giant. He's got a toe on him. That's gross. Why would I want that? Ew. I better kill his ox? Nah, I'll leave his ox alone. His ox is cool. You don't like disease-ridden sewers? Come on, man. I don't disagree, Nils Wager, but she's still a dick, and she's still rude. And that's just the kind of thing that I really don't have the capacity to tolerate. Especially when that person never makes any effort to apologize or make up for that rudeness. Like, there's one thing about, you know, being on edge and saying a few things and being like, look, I'm sorry I'm on edge. And consistently being a dick. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people in Skyrim look like they're dying horribly, just from their natural models. With improved cities, which is a mod I don't have on, I would say Solitude is actually, like, probably visually my favorite. Hey, Preacher. I haven't seen you in 700,000 years. What's up? Now, it's also worth noting some of my issues with Delphine could be just issues with the writing in general. Because one thing that I don't like about Skyrim is the lack of options. It is very difficult to play any kind of character in Skyrim.
Whoa there! I don't know where you're going, but stay out of that mine. It isn't safe.
I'm sorry, what?
We tunneled into an old Nordic crypt. The whole place is crawling with Draugr. We're not mining up any ore with those undead around, so I wouldn't go down there if I were you.
Okie dokie.
Good to hear.
It's, I don't know, Harant. I'm just going to admit that. I don't actually know on that one. Now, congratulations, Preacher. I probably won't be touching that game for, I'm thinking 2 months at this point. Anyways, so, what was I saying? Right. So, in other words,
We're on to you. We know who you are. So you'd better come with us right now.
What?
I don't know who you think I am, and I don't care. Leave me alone.
I don't have time for this foolishness. Now come along quietly, and we won't have to get rough. Brother, I think she's telling the truth.
I'm not going anywhere. Now back off before I do something drastic.
She doesn't have the scar. What? Oh, you're right. We've made a mistake. Now move along before that mouth of yours gets you into trouble.
Next time you're looking to pester someone, make sure it's the right person.
No, I've seen this before. This leads to the quest in Whiterun, which we actually will be doing. So these are Alikir. We'll actually be talking about them a little bit later.
Don't set anything on fire, all right?
Okay. Nothing shall be on fire. Sorry. The hell was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So, Delphine, right? Now, here's the thing. The game never gives us the chance to walk up to Delphine and say, dude, what the hell? We never get that option. At no point does the game allow us to call her out or be like, you're kind of being a little bit pushy here, or look, I'm on your side, or basically anything whatsoever to challenge her. It's basically just her giving us quests and us saying okay and asking for more information, and that's it. That's what I mean by lack of options. So the writing of Skyrim basically doesn't allow us to call her out for it, and therefore she basically has no option to be a better person. You know what I mean? So, just some thoughts on that. Anyways. Let's get my weapon ready. Save one more time.
This is Markarth, traveler.
Sorry, give me a second, Rachel.
Bit of jewelry for your journey home?
Oh,
There we go.
lovely on my sister.
I'd die for my people.
The Forest
honor here in the city.
You're welcome.
Everyone, stay back. The Markarth City Guard have this all under control.
134.
Are no forsworn here.
There are no forsworn here.
Oh, damn. Another
The
body to
Forsworn.
get rid of.
Here inside the city.
I do too. I like the execution animations.
A woman attacked right on the streets.
I know, right?
Are you alright? Did you see what happened?
I did. Why is this song playing? He almost killed me.
I'm so sorry. I hope the aid give you more peace in the future. Oh, I think you dropped this. Some kind of note. Looks important.
Is this your note? What do you mean, sir?
My note? No, that's yours. Must have fallen out of your pocket.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Blackfell. I have to think about answering that. Let's see here. What do we got for this? Oh, hang on. Let's see here. Meet at the Shrine of Talos? What? There's no Shrine of Talos. Well, the good news is we've gotten the overwhelming majority of them out of the way. I honestly don't anticipate there's going to be more than, like, maybe 40 additional ones in Skyrim. God damn it, this button. Who's Talos? Man, I don't know. Some Nordic thing, I think. There we go. Now, let me go ahead and say one thing I think is a definitive negative in this game, in my opinion. And I know. But I'm not going to lie about what I feel to be legitimate criticisms. Morrowind didn't have quest markers. So Morrowind would say, you need to meet me at the Shrine of Talos. It's up the main street, you turn left after the blacksmith, and blah, 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 right? Oblivion does have quest markers, but also most of the quests in Oblivion were still written, so that it was like, you need to go up to the Shrine of Talos. It's up the market, pass to the left, you get to this area, it's gone too far, you know? Less verbose, but still giving you directions, so in other words, you could play Oblivion without quest markers and it would still work. What is the total amount of direction we've been given in Skyrim? Go to the Shrine of Talos, and there's a quest marker. Now, this varies from quest to quest, but there are an inordinate amount of quests in Skyrim which use the quest marker as the directions, and don't write it so that you could ignore the quest markers, right? And that is probably something I consider to be a definitive negative. I'm okay with quest markers as a concept, I really am. But I do think quest markers should be an optional thing. And the only way for them to be optional is for there to be actual directions written into the quest design and the flow of the events. Something that both the previous games did, in my opinion, better. So, anyways, moving on. So, I know that it's right there because I can literally see it.
Outsiders.
Hang on. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Whoa! Or I could fall. God damn it. And toggleability, absolutely. Hang on, I just don't feel like physicsing right now. How do I get up here normally? There we go. Alright, I'm here. I have found the Shrine of Talos. Hey, I'm cured of diseases. Woot! Well, that's cool. Well, I mean, like I said, Oblivion did that too, just not all over the place. Don't mistake me, I'm down with quest markers.
I'm sorry to drag you into Markarth's problems, but after that attack in the market, I'm running out of time. You're an outsider. You're dangerous looking. You'll do.
Okay. Whoop, wrong button. Wrong button. Wrong button. There we go.
I'm sorry to drag you into Markarth's problems.
You just...
After that attack in the market, I'm running out of time.
You just said that.
You're an outsider.
You're
dangerous looking. You'll do.
Are you okay?
You want answers? Well, so do I. So does everyone in the city.
Oh.
A man goes crazy in the market. Everyone knows he's a forsworn agent. Guards do nothing. Nothing but clean up the mess.
And you want to find out why the Forsworn are allowed to operate freely in Markarth.
This has been going on for years, and all I've been able to find is murder and blood. I need help. Please, you find out why that woman was attacked, who's behind Wayland and the Forsworn, and I'll pay you for any information you bring me.
I mean, if he was a dwarf, Rory. One second, sorry guys. So, what do you know about Margaret?
She's not from Markarth. The air about her screamed outsider. Visitors to the city usually stay at the Silverblood Inn.
What about Wayland? Where'd he live?
He was one of the smelter workers. I used to have a job down there myself, casting silver ingots. I never knew much about Wayland, except he lives in the Warrens, like all the other workers.
What about the Forsworn?
They're remnants of the old rulers of Markarth, natives of the Reach, followers of the old ways.
Yeah, they're freaks. I'm
The
just gonna
Nords drove
summarize.
them out of the city. Ulfric Stormcloak and his men. That was about 20 years ago.
No, seriously, they're freaks.
Somehow they're still here, and they're killing people.
Super freaks.
Yes. It all started when I was a boy. My father owned one of the mines, rare for anyone who isn't a Nord. He was killed. Guards said it was just a madman, but everyone knew the murderer was a member of the Forsworn. I've been trying to find out why ever since. Gotten nowhere so far. And then I got married. Have a child of my own on the way. I swore I was going to just give up for my child's sake, but it's like my father's ghost is haunting me, asking me why.
Okay. Also, Preacher, what's this Sparry Time? I've never heard of that.
Let me know as soon as you found anything.
Nah. So, the reason I call the Forsworn freaks is, well, it isn't too hard to sympathize with them, but they're also probably horribly evil. So here's the thing. The Forsworn, as he mentioned, were kicked out by the Nords. And there was this whole thing, and Ulfric was involved. I already talked about that. Nothing new to add to that. The relevant part is that after they were kicked out, they were like, you know what? That should be our territory. And it's not anymore. And we need to take it back. You know what we should do? We should turn to worshipping a local creature that happens to be magical. And that creature will give us a magical edge to be able to retake our territory. Yeah! Now, I mean, in a setting like this, there's at least a degree of sense to be made about that. I'll show off a little bit more about the Forsworn and the Hagravens when we actually encounter them a bit from now. Oh, excuse me.
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, friend?
God damn it.
You don't want to be here. No one wants to.
Right. Well, I had a quest arrow to come in here.
The Warrens isn't a place for your type. What do you want?
Do you know a Wayland?
Oh, yes. I know everyone who sleeps in the Warrens. Kind of the one who passes the keys around. I guess someone else will be taking his room now.
I need that key if you don't mind.
Sorry, but you don't exactly belong here.
I could kill you if you'd like.
Welcome to the Warrens.
Thanks. So, I'm sorry, what's with the War? Why do you call this place the Warrens?
It's where you go when you can't afford a room anywhere else. About the time they opened the mines, someone got the idea to throw beds in here. Laborers, the sick, the lame, we're all here.
So this is the down below.
That's right. Welcome to Markarth, traveler. Thank the divines you can choose to live somewhere else.
Well, okay.
All right, then.
Oh yeah, by the way, in response to something Harian said earlier, one of the things I find funny is that this is a setting where the divines are relatively provable. thanks to the fact that they actually have magical interactions with you.
Here doesn't have rattles or ataxia.
And the fact that they're being like, no, you don't understand. Talos doesn't exist. Stop praying to a shrine. It's not doing anything for you. I know you think it is, but it isn't. Alright, what do we got around here? Oh, a bucket. The most valuable thing of all. Oh, hello, there's a note here. And a girl's yellow dress. Well, that's not incredibly creepy. What do we got here? You've been chosen to strike the heart of the Nords. Go to the market tomorrow. You will know what to do. Well, okay. Well, now I gotta figure out who N is. Gosh. Isn't he the guy in Pokemon?
You've been digging around where you don't belong.
Okay.
It's time you learned a lesson.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you have anything to say that's worth my time, or are you just here to waste my air?
You'll listen to this. Come on, let's see what you're made of.
Which one's the big one? I know, right, Django? So anyways.
You mangy piece of pit bait.
So, I'm gonna kill you if you don't start talking.
I was sent by Nepos the Nose. The old man hands out the orders. He told me to make sure you didn't get in the way. That's all I know, I swear.
Thanks. Man, that's a great code name. Nepos the Nose goes by the code name N. Yeah. Let's see. Why are there two places on my map? Hang on. That's why.
You don't know anything about this house?
No.
Anyone seen entering or leaving? Any strange lights?
God damn it. Frickin' Markarth. Damn Dwemer. The name of this quest is The Forsworn Conspiracy. It's also got a follow-up we'll be doing right after it.
What's your business here?
I'm here to see Nepos.
We haven't been expecting you, and the old man needs his rest. Come back some other time.
Sure.
It's okay, my dear. Send him in. Be careful.
Nepos. You heard him. Go on in.
I'm sorry about my housekeeper. She's a little protective of me. Now, what is it you want?
You sent a thug after me.
Ah, yes. You've proven to be a real bloodhound. Well, you've sniffed me out. I've been playing this game for almost 20 years, sending the young to their deaths, all in the name of the Forsworn. And I'm tired.
Can you speak up, dude?
So tired.
God, can you guys hear him? I'm having trouble hearing him, and I have the headphones on. Why?
Because my king told me to. Madanach. When the uprising fell at the hands of the Nords, they threw him in the mines. I don't know how, but he lives. I get his messages, and I hand out his orders without question.
So who's Madanach?
He is the king in rags, a man who once held all the Reach within his grip. He stokes the passions of the downtrodden in this city, directs them to kill the enemies of the Forsworn in our name.
Of course
all
not,
from
Breacher.
inside Sidna Mine, a Nord prison. The irony is quite thick.
So you mentioned an uprising?
Markarth and the Reach are our lands. That is why we are the Forsworn. We cannot claim the home that is rightly ours. But then, during their war with the Elves, we had our moment. We drove the Nords out of the Reach in a great uprising. Then Ulfric and his men came. Those of us who didn't run were executed, except for myself, my king, and a handful of others.
Uh-huh. Why are you telling me all this?
My dear boy, what makes you think you're getting out of here alive?
My sword of plus
You were
10,000
seen
damage.
coming in. The girl at the door is a Forsworn agent masquerading as a maid.
That's nice.
You aren't the first one to have gotten this far. You won't be the last.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but you're not leaving alive.
So seriously, I just want you to look at my sword real quick. It actually only has 149 damage, sorry. Although it's currently doing, excuse me, 14,989 damage. Oh, hang on, I should probably re-equip it. Give me a second. Boop. There we go. Okay. There we are. So, how are things? How's the misses? Yeah, I saved you for last for a reason. Enjoy! By the way, I can also kill you with a thought, technically, because I have access to console commands, so... I'll take that, that. I'll take your key, too, while I'm at it. There we go. Oh, god damn it. Whatever. Take the lockpicks. Never know, I might need those. Let's see. Cheese wedges. I do love cheese wedges. What else we got here? A lot of lockpicks. Ooh, some baked potatoes. I could use some baked potatoes right now. Oh, they got a nice spread going out. But I don't want to steal. That would be wrong of me. So I'll just head outside. Oh, that was easy. Figured they'd put up a little bit more of a fight than that. Yeesh.
Come on in. The Silverblood Inn has plenty of strong drink and clean rooms.
Really?
There's no shipments coming in, so I do nothing. Just drink.
Okay.
Another drink, Koznak? A porter with Arnleif and Sons deserves nothing but the finest here.
All your drinks are watered down, Clever. You aren't fooling me, and you know Lisbeth can't afford to pay me enough for the finest drinks anyhow.
I wasn't aware that Lisbeth was having trouble, Koznak. Is Arnleif and Sons not doing a good turn of business these days?
What, are you blind? That store is empty. Forsworn get almost every shipment that comes in.
It's been pretty bad,
That's just
Preacher.
terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that.
It got so bad that once I had to do a dungeon basically twice, because I had to loot a key off of someone.
No, you aren't.
This is the Silverblood Inn. I'll let you figure out who owns it by yourself.
Does a woman named Margaret stay here?
Ah, yes. Rented the nicest room we had for a whole month. I think she's sitting by the fire. Poor girl.
So, there's not really a really good quest flow in Skyrim.
Remember.
So what we're doing is we're doing the random quests and the Daedric quests. Then we're doing the guild quests. Then we're doing the Civil War. Then we're doing the main quest, then Dawnguard, then Dragonguard. That's the rough order we're doing things in. And I like to do things without dragons being all over the place. So we're doing a lot of that before we spawn dragons. So that's the answer to your question, Anthony.
Ale is cheaper than blood in Markarth.
Unlike my husband.
I'm what you'd call a soldier
Sorry.
of fortune.
I'm still a bit dizzy from everything.
It's okay, I saved your life. As a hello. So what are you doing in Markarth?
Just visiting. I had some business here. That's all.
Alright, so you're lying to me.
No, I'm telling you, there was no other reason.
Okay, so you're really lying to me.
Was it that obvious? Damn. I must be losing my touch.
No, we will, Huthor.
I'm one of General Tullius's agents. I was sent to investigate the Treasury House and the Silverblood family. They own Sidna Mine, one of the toughest jails in Skyrim. I was hoping I could buy or steal the deed, but I don't think that's how things work here. Mark my words. Thonar Silverblood was behind that attack in the market. Somehow.
I have no idea, Micromano. If it takes more than 2 weeks, basically if it takes up to Wednesday of next week, I will have to put it on hold and then go work on other stuff.
You. I've seen you snooping around, asking questions.
Yeah.
Back off. You don't want to know what happens to troublemakers here.
Look, I've got a sword of kill everything in the universe.
You're finding it. That's bad enough. This is your last warning, outsider. We keep the peace here. Stay out of our business.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only.
Okay.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only.
Okay.
Let's see here. I have a letter here for you. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Look, I don't be quiet about my godlike powers, okay? I'm just gonna say it. You wanna bug me? Here, look. See this? This will kill your entire town. If I could get you all into like one line, I could just slice forward, and then your whole city would be destroyed. What's this? I know you killed him. Don't worry. I won't tell anyone. In fact, I wanted to thank you. He won't be missed. Killed who? Who did I kill? No, unfortunately, I don't have that spell. That was in the non-special edition. Like I said, we basically have no mods. We have 3 mods. The unofficial patch, the sword, and the no spiders. That's it. I guess I did kill Nepos, but I mean, that wasn't a murder. He literally attacked me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Just let old Nana know if you need it.
Yeah, I don't need anything. I actually like the career system in general. It's a good way to kind of showcase events and what you've done.
What are you doing here? I told them no visitors.
Hi. Did you send a guard to threaten me?
What did you expect? That no one was going to notice you butting into business that wasn't yours?
Not yet, preacher, no.
The guards know who holds the purse strings in this city, and I don't like snoops. Markarth is my city. You have no right looking into my business. Now get out.
What? By the gods, Betri!
Is someone there?
Never.
What?
You need to learn some manners.
I don't actually understand what's going on here, so I'm just gonna...
I yield.
I'm gonna put you down.
Oh well. Must have run off. My wife. They killed her.
Hi.
Damn Anach. Damn his forsworn backside.
What?
No, you're not. You want to know what the Forsworn really are?
Sure.
They're my puppets. I have their king rotting in Sidna Mine. He was supposed to keep them under control.
Yeah. You made a deal with the Forsworn.
When their uprising was crushed, I had Anach brought to me. He was a wild animal, but a useful one. I offered him a stay from execution if he used his influence to deal with any annoyances that came up. Competitors, agents, idiots. So I've let him run his little Forsworn rebellion from inside Sidna Mine. Now he's out of control.
Well, yeah. You know, I could deal with him.
You already got what you wanted, you damn hound. This is your fault.
Oh.
You and Anach are animals, and I'll see you both rot to death in Sidna Mine for this. Now get out of my house.
Is he essential? I wonder. Yep, he's essential. Well, he's a cripple for the rest of his life now. Go ahead and go back home. Go up to your room. Go on. Take your time. I'm going to enjoy watching you hobble up there, jackass. I'll take that while I'm at it. Alright, well, that was... So far, I'm already hating this town. I guess we'll go back and tell Bob that his dad died for basically no reason. Ah, well. Hey, Bob.
We warned you, but you had to just go and cause trouble.
Did you kill
Now we
him?
have to pin all these recent murders on you. Silence witnesses. Work, work, work.
What? Did you seriously kill the guy who had like 15 death flags on him?
Say Same thing we do with all the other natives who want to change things around here. We had a nice little deal going between Thalmor and Anach until you and the Elthris started snooping around. Well, you wanted to find the man responsible for those killings. You'll have plenty of time with the king in rags when you're in Sidna Mine.
So, we can either basically be wanted in Markarth forever, or we can do the next quest.
You'll never see the sun again, you hear me? No one escapes Sidna Mine. No one.
You know the best part about my sword? I can just resummon it at will.
All right, prisoner. Eyes front. You're in Sidna Mine now, and we expect you to earn your keep. There's no resting your hide in a cell in this prison. Here you work. You'll mine ore until you start throwing up silver bars. You got it?
Yeah, sure. When do I get out?
You won't. The Jarl has ordered a life sentence for you. Get comfortable in the dark, because you'll never see the sun again. All right. Open her up. Now you, get down there.
Okay. Nice place. I like it. Nice ambiance.
I left behind my daughter, Uale, when I was taken.
I mean, I'm sorry for being a little flippant, but I could literally teleport to Whiterun in like 3 seconds right now, so it's...
How old is my daughter now,
hard to keep track of that.
What are you in for, new blood?
Nothing much. I'm actually innocent.
Innocent? So was I, for the first one. The other murders were all me, though.
Oh, congrats.
My advice? Serve your time at the pickaxe and get out. You don't want to end up getting a shiv in the guts over a bottle of skooma.
But I don't like skooma.
Small blade, easy to hide. I mean, sure, you could just swing a pickaxe into someone's face, but people tend to see that coming.
Oh.
Got a problem with a prisoner? Get a shiv. Here Grisvar has a spare, if you could get him to part with it.
Hey, Cadet. White Swan. So, just to make this clear, Markarth is actually very rich in terms of raw income and produce. This place has been a source of wealth for literally generations. It's one of the reasons why the Silverbloods are called that. And they have used their wealth and power to basically be... God, like, I want to call them the Mafia, but worse than that. They're like much worse than the Mafia. Basically, they have a very simple rule here. They can do whatever they want to, and no one else can. Do I have a mod on right now? Holy crap. They bypass pretty much all of the normal rules of both the Empire and of the Nords, and have also kind of... Actually, Railroad Barons is a much better way to put it. Thank you. Yes, these are basically Railroad Barons. They really, really are horrible. And they have been horrible for a long time. And they practice regular slavery. They shove money down people's throats. They're okay with people being killed left and right in broad daylight. There's actually... It is legitimately evil. These are horrible people. Now... This is, in addition to the horribly evil Railroad Barons, we've also got the legitimately insane Forsworn, who again, heart ripped out, replaced by a chunk of tree people. What I'm trying to say is Markarth is probably... I know Riften is supposed to be the Thieves Guild and the underbelly. No. Markarth is the real underbelly of Skyrim. If you ever want to see just how bad Skyrim can get and Nordic culture can get, this right here is where you really get to see that. And yes, of course, all the guards are on the payroll. This is an unpleasant place, and that's kind of what I'm trying to showcase. That's why I picked this particular quest arc to do here, because this is a great exaltation of what's going on here. So, where's Anach?
If you're asking, that means you're the new lifer. Tough luck, friend. Those guards sold you out, but good.
Oh no. Hey,
No one
Breptons.
talks to Anach, I'm afraid. Not without getting past Borkle the Beast.
Who's that?
And you don't want to talk to Borkle the Beast.
Yeah, no kidding, Hourglass. So who's Borkle the Beast?
Anach's guard. Big, even for an orc. Heard he ripped a man's arm off and beat him to death with it. He's old-fashioned like that.
So what are you in for?
A Nord nobleman I served was stabbed in the night. Wasn't me, but I knew I'd be blamed. So I ran, joined the Forsworn, started killing, got caught. Now I'm here.
I'm level 1 at the moment, Breftings. I think I'll have to level up later, but for the moment we're just sticking with level 1. Next Sunday evening, or excuse me, next Sunday morning at the end of Lorerweek Preacher. So where's the guards?
They come in here once a week to clean out the bodies, grab any ore we've mined, and beat down the troublemakers. That's the only time when we get food, too. And if there's not enough ore mined up, we don't get any.
Yeah. This is not a pleasant place. And now, I know Maven Blackbriar is not exactly a nice person either, but I would go so far as to say that I don't think she's this bad. This... I mean, there's worse than this. We saw worse than this in Minecraft, but this is pretty damn bad. They kind of do, Harriet. Like, not all of them are here for life, but for the most part, yeah, no, you're here, and that's the end of it.
Bottles of moon sugar. Khajiit use it as a pick-me-up. A good way to pass the time. Prisoners smuggle the stuff in. Only currency we have down here.
Yeah, I'm not actually joking about that Dream Whisperer. Telltale's Minecraft and Telltale's Minecraft Season 2 were both... They both demonstrated things that were so horrifically evil. It took a while for my brain to really process it, and I'm not joking. Anyway, so why'd you join the Forsworn?
Because life was better under the old ways. No Nords and their laws.
I see.
One day the Forsworn will paint the walls of Markarth in their blood.
Uh-huh. Go on.
Until next time.
I wonder, are you essential? Looks like you are. Well, you're hobbled for life. Enjoy.
The new meat. So soft. Tender. What was it like killing your first one, huh?
Believe it or not, I'm actually a murderer.
Liar.
I want to see Anach.
You want to talk to the king in rags? Fine. But first you gotta pay the
See you
toll.
around, Necro.
How about you get me a shiv? Not that I need one, but it's nice to have one in case I need to do some shaving.
How about I just fight you for it?
That's what I was hoping you'd say. Come on, let's see what you're made of. That it? That your best?
Kinda is. Not actually that strong. Yeah, we totally need Sugar Magoo.
That your best? Huh?
I know I can remove their essential flag, but I don't remember exactly which NPCs are essential to which quests, so I don't want to do that just yet.
It's been so long since I tasted my own blood. Sour.
Get away with this?
Yeah. Go on in.
Thanks. Thanks, buddy. Why is blood sour? Is orcish blood just sour? Hello, are you Anach?
Well, look at you. The Nords have turned you into an animal. A wild beast, caged up and left to go mad. Well, look. So, my fellow beast, what do you want? Answers about the Forsworn? Revenge for trying to have you killed?
No, I think the nut treat is good. Thanks. Oh, actually, before I go, I kind of want my freedom back.
Your freedom? Yes. But even if you were to escape Sidna Mine, your name would still be stained with all that blood.
Oh God, this is the guy who plays the bad guy of the Thieves Guild chain. I just never recognized the voice.
You're one of us now, you see? A slave. The boot of the Nords stepping on your throat. Maybe if you understood that, I could help you.
I really do not care about your propaganda, sir.
There's a man named Breg inside these mines. Besides me, he's been here the longest. Tell him I sent you. Ask him why he's here. I want you to know how widespread the injustice of Markarth is.
Okay. That's a weird direction to go with that.
Our vengeance will come.
Shh. Sure, why not? I suppose I'll play along for right now. If I can remember my way to get around here. Oh, is it this way? There it is. No, yeah. God, it's hard to see where I'm going in this place. There we are. Hey, Brig.
Don't reach for a shiv around me or we'll both regret it.
I feel like I just heard your voice. Also, Kingdom Hearts reference. So, Anach asked me to hear your story.
My story, huh? Everyone in Sidna Mine has a tale. Let's hear yours first. When was the first time you felt chains around your wrists?
Well, I was in Helgen.
So you know what it's like to have your life in someone else's hands. Why should they get to decide? Isn't judgment for the gods? Do you have any family? Anyone waiting for you on the outside?
Nope. I haven't gotten married, and I haven't adopted any kids, so... I guess I do have family outside of Skyrim.
I had a daughter once. She'd be 23 this year. Married to some hot-headed silver worker, or maybe on her own, learning the herb trade. The Nords didn't care who was and who wasn't involved in the Forsworn uprising. I had spoken to Anach once. That was enough. But my little Aethra didn't want to see her papa leave her. She pleaded to the Jarl to take her instead. And after they made me watch as her head rolled off the block, they threw me in here anyway to dig up their silver.
So, that's how bad the Silverbloods are. Any questions?
My daughter is the one who needs your pity. I'm just a poor Forsworn whose only regret is not killing more Nords before I was locked up. Till next time.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I hate Markarth, like a lot. On more than one playthrough of this game, I have basically genocided this town. Cause, yeah... I'm not actually sure, Skystrax.
Do you remember the sun? Because you'll forget. Soon.
That would be awesome, Slifer. Alright, guys. Chop chop. I want all that silver, and remember, if you don't get enough, no food.
Yeah, imagine hearing a story like that over and over. Each time a different family. Each time a different injustice. Your meddling above ground reminded me of how removed I've been from the struggle. My men and I should be in the hills, fighting.
You know, it's very talented. It's hard to write and talk at the same time. Oh, by the way, Preacher, I didn't answer your question. As soon as I finish this quest, I'm cutting off for the night. So, about that whole escape thing?
Yes, but I need a show of loyalty from you. I don't need a shiv in the back to break out. Have you met Grisvar the Unlucky? He's rightly named, and he's also a thief and a snitch. He's outlived his minor usefulness. Take care of him, and then we can leave Sidna Mine for good.
So hold up. You want me to be loyal to you, someone I basically just met. You also want me to prove that loyalty to you by murdering someone totally unrelated to you, who I've also just met. I mean...
Remember, it was the Nords who locked you up.
No, it was some corrupt guards who were being controlled by the local equivalent of the frickin' railroad barons. Not an entire species, you moron! So what are you in for, Grisvar?
The first time, thieving. The second time, thieving. The third time, thieving. It kinda keeps going like that.
How long you been here?
First it was 6 months. Then a year. Then 2 years. Now I'm in for life.
Markarth is unfortunately exceptionally defensible. I'll show it when I get out of here. It's probably the most militarily defensible location in Skyrim in general. Anach says hello.
What? No. No, don't kill me. Please.
What? No, I wasn't going to actually kill you. I'm not going to kill you. Dude, calm down. What? I killed him. I proved my loyalty. Oh, excuse me. Yawn attack.
You're back. Have you done what I asked?
Yeah, definitely.
You've finally become one of us.
Yeah, don't
with me.
do that.
I think it's time I announced my plans to you and your new brothers.
Yeah, I'm definitely part of the Forsworn. That's totally a thing. You can tell because I have a giant hole in my frickin' chest. I know. Not all of them do that. Just the lucky ones.
What's going on, Anach? You wouldn't have old Grisvar killed unless you weren't planning on needing him.
My brothers, we have been here long enough. It's time to leave Sidna Mine and continue our fight against the Nords. Through this gate, just beside my quarters, is a tunnel. A tunnel that leads right through the old dwarven ruins of Markarth, into the city. Well, what do you say, my brothers?
The Reach belongs to the Forsworn!
I say you've earned an early pardon. Let's go.
No, I can't, Rory. Like, I can tell you why they did it, but you asked for a legitimate reason why a smart and shrewd group of businessmen would do that, so... I got nothing.
Into the tunnel. Let's go.
No, we're totally part of the Forsworn now, Black Belt. We are brothers! I'm a Ragonian, but we're brothers! And I don't give a damn about the Reach. In fact, I never plan to come back here except to do one more quest. But we're brothers! Oh yeah, by the way, the Daedric quest that's around here is one of the most horrific of the quests. So, that's a fun thing. Hang on, one sec. I want to see what Permeus linked here. Bzz. Ah, that one, yeah. He what, Rory? Gotta love Dwemer tunnels, you know? Do you like Dwemer tunnels? I like them a little better here than in Morrowind, if I'm being completely honest.
Come on!
Oh no, it's a bear! Oh no! Oh god, they're both essential. Alright, hang on. Let's see. You know what? I kind of feel like wielding a great sword, just for fun. Anyone cool with that? There we go. Just for kicks for a bit here.
Huh?
It does the same damage as the sword. It's just... Oh no, another bear! No! There we go. Alright. Did you... How do you kill him and complete the quest? I'm kind of curious. There we go. Move along, move along. I've actually never done that. I've done this quest legit once and then twice this time. Other times I just come in here and don't accept being arrested.
Huh?
What? Oh no! It's an amazing piece of technology that's still working years later. We better destroy it. Eh, whatever. I don't care that much.
Come on!
Hey now.
Save.
Madanach, I brought what you asked for.
Good work. Get ready while I have a word with our favorite outsider. I had Kai recover all the things the Nords stole from you.
Oh, thanks.
You better get ready before we break out into the city. And take this. It's blessed with the old magics. Something to remember me by.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Now, I announce to all of Markarth that I have returned. Don't worry about your name. They'll know who to blame and fear after today.
I see.
It'll take years, but I'll organize the Forsworn again. We'll reclaim our land, and then when power is ours, we'll have peace. A kingdom. Until then, let me offer you a warning. Beware the Forsworn. No place in the Reach is safe from us now.
Well, I mean, I'll go and put my Dwemer gear back on here for the moment. And, let's go ahead and get my regular sword back. There we go.
Madanach, think you can escape my prison, do you? You'll pay for what you've done to my family.
Your family? You've poisoned the Reach with your tainted silver for long enough, Thonar! Hey! Here we go!
Alright, there's one down. There we go. And here's 2, 3, 4. There we go. Hang on. One more. There we go. 5, 6. Hang on. 7, 8. There we go. 9. There's Madanach. He's dead. We gotta kill the guard really quick. Gotta kill Borkul. There we go. Gotta kill the other guard. Hang on. I gotta kill a lot more guards. You're just gonna have to give me a second. Excuse me. Hey, Brig. Sorry about this. Nothing personal. Yep. You were in on this too, weren't you? And so were you. That's the funny thing. All the guards were in on this, so I really don't feel bad about doing what I'm doing right now. There we go. One more. Where are you? Come on, don't hide. Come on. Aren't you a brave guard? You're the only one left. I cannot be contained. I cannot be controlled. Understand this as you die. Ever pathetic, ever foolish. Doo-doo-doo. There you are. Hi. Oh, well. Stop existing. So anywho, they're all dead now. I think I'm gonna quote Babylon 5 now. Now at long last, we will have peace in our time. Let's see, did Borkul have anything? I'll go ahead and take his key. Where's Madanach? Where'd his corpse end up? Who are you? Oh, you're a weirdo. I don't care about you. What do you got? Oh, hey, there's Mr. Silverblood. I'll take that and that. I'll take his journal, too. He's got some nice clothing on. I might take that. You know, I could use some nice shoes. I feel like feeling pretty every now and again. What else we got here? Ooh, he's got a meat pie. By the way, I have no intention of doing the Molag Bal quest, so... I'm not doing every Daedric quest. Most of them aren't actually worth doing in this one, in my opinion. At least not for a lore run. That is a good question, Harriet. I like to think a city council fires up. That's my headcanon for this. Because, as you can see, you really can kill the leaders of the Forsworn and the leaders of the town. Although I do have quite a bounty right now. I'm sure there's something I can do about that. Ah, well. Whee. Look, I like meat pie, okay?
You escaped Sidna Mine with Madanach? Everyone in the Warrens has been praising your name.
Oh, that's true. There is still the Jarl. I forgot he even existed because he's so goddamn irrelevant. Dog meat? Oh, that's just not cool. Yeah, so actually, hang on. Let me check something really quick here. this the inn? Yep, here we go.
Come on in. The Silverblood Inn has plenty of strong drink and clean rooms.
Good, good. I could use a clean room right about now.
Why are they hurting each other?
Oh, it's a guard. Hang on, hang on. There we go. Sorry about that, guys.
Did that really just happen?
It's just a guard. Ugh.
I'm going to put you down.
Oh, for God's sakes. No, listen. This is what you get. Calm down. I was only killing a corrupt guard. It's okay. Yeah, go back to your drinks. Everything's cool.
Unlike my husband Klepper, I watch after our guests.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What happened?
Don't mind the corpses. I'm sorry.
Nothing, you pig-headed oaf.
I'm sorry about the corpses. I really
What
am.
you call a soldier of fortune. Make me an offer, and I just might fight at your side.
Yeah, no thanks. I really don't need a follower.
My father Klepper is the one you want to talk to. I just clean up.
Well, where the hell is he? I'm actually looking for him. Clapper.
Can't be too careful these days.
Oh, you're Clapper.
With the war and other dangers.
Forsworn rampaging through the streets, as if business wasn't slow enough.
Yeah, got any rumors?
Did you hear? The Hall of the Dead is closed. Brother Veralis isn't the most popular man in town right now.
Really? Thanks.
Remember, ale is cheaper than blood in Markarth.
Oh, I believe it.
You just tell me if you need something.
You aren't with the Forsworn, are you? People say they saw you when the prisoners escaped.
I'm not with the Forsworn. I'm just killing the corrupt guards because they're evil assholes, okay? God, why do people not understand this? Alright. Funny thing is, I don't think there's any guards left to bring me in now that I've killed them all, so yay. I need this thing. Hello, Robo. How are things? So I lied, we're gonna do one more quest today. It's a quick one, don't worry. Nah, I'm not tired, Ventures.
What are you hiding, priest?
I'm not. That's enough, Thumb.
Murder! Do that in cold blood.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, this is becoming irritating.
I'm going to...
By the gods, no!
You know, I don't know.
If it's about the Hall of the Dead, no, you can't go in there.
Wait, I'm sorry, why not?
I can't talk about it. Rest assured, the Jarl hears everyone's concerns.
Does he?
You will be able to visit the dead again soon.
Would some coin help?
Well, the priesthood of Arkay always accepts generous donations.
Good, good.
We've discovered that some of the dead have been eaten.
I'm sorry, what?
Flesh has been chewed off. Bones were snapped to get at the marrow inside.
Ah.
We haven't caught anyone or anything yet. It's like it knows when I'm there. If you can get to the bottom of this, the priesthood of Arkay will reward you. Take my key and be careful.
Okay, thanks. Also, if there's a console command to fix it, I don't actually know about it. Please feel free to inform me if there is. Well, here we go, guys. Time to go become a cannibal. Yep. I don't know about you guys, but I love eating other people. It's one of my favorite things to do. Nom, nom, nom. Nom, nom, nom. I am kidding, of course. So my bounty in the Reach is currently 13,040. I think they don't like me here.
Not many would walk blindly into a crypt, smelling of steel and blood, but not fear.
It... Did I get it? Crime. Nope, that didn't work.
I feel the hunger inside of you, gnawing at you. You see the dead, and your mouth grows goes wet. Your stomach growls.
First of all, ew. No, really.
It's all right. I will not
Ew.
shun you for what you are. Stay. I will tell you everything you have forgotten.
This quest is so gross. I hope John goes here for this, because he actually requested I do this quest. I mean, I don't know about you guys, when I see dead corpses, I'm just like, oh god, that looks so good to eat.
You were young when you first tasted human flesh, weren't you? A brother or sister had died? An accident, of course.
You are so gross.
Then the hunger set in. Curiosity. What's the harm in just one bite?
You are so gross.
It's okay now. You found a friend who understands you. You can let go of your guilt.
What are you talking about, lady?
A lot of our kind block out the memory of their first meal. The shame is too much. But you don't need to hide anymore. Namira, the Lady of Decay, accepts you for what you are. She has a place for us where we can sate our appetites without judgment.
So where is this place exactly?
It's inside Reachcliff Cave. But the dead have stirred from their slumber recently, and I was forced here. Meet me there. We'll fight our way to Namira's embrace together. Until then, tell the people of Markarth that their dead won't be disturbed anymore. We have bigger plans ahead.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, God. Ew. Okay. 816C. No, she invisibled. We've gotten this to work before. No, you don't understand, Horient. They deserve to be this way. It's our fault for not really understanding their particular wants and desires. Everywhere should have people who... Oh, okay, I'm actually feeling a little sick in real life, so I'm just gonna leave that as is.
You've returned. What happened in the Hall of the Dead?
It's safe. It's safe.
Divines preserve you. You're a hero. We'll reopen the hall right away. Here, take my amulet as a reward.
Thanks. Peace.
Arcade protect you.
Yeah, no kidding, Arliss. Okay, hang on. Just word for word here. Hang on. No, stats. Nope, I still have a bounty. I actually agree, Rory. These people aren't evil. They're just...
Good day, friend.
legitimately disturbed. It's funny, we actually talked about this earlier in Elder Scrolls as well, because the question has been asked, can we literally magically cure people? Like the guy in Skingrad. The paranoid Bosmer. Can we actually cure mental affliction in a setting where magic exists, you know? Why do I not have the follow-up quest? Oh, there it is. I'm just an idiot, sorry. There we go. Whee!
Yeah!
Oh god, I'm about to get more wanted level. Because I'm about to kill more guards. Wait. There we go. Hey, do you want to kill me?
Anach was break the law in Markarth, and it's off to Sidna Mine with you.
Oh, thank goodness. I no longer have to kill guards. Whew. I mean, that was just getting kind of terrible. There we go. Much better. Okay, so, anyways. Moving on. Let's go help Namira's chosen. We must eat blood and bile. Oh, I can't even say it. Gross. Gross. I once sat down and did all the Daedric quests just to get the achievement for it on Steam. And this was one of the 2 quests that actually bothered me doing it.
Yeah.
You know what? I do too, Hourglass. We had mega cheats on the old version. So there was actually a spell called Nuke in the old version.
You've come.
It killed every actor that was currently active in a cell, whether they were essential or not. Sadness. Wait here, I'll take care of them. Actually, no, come on with me.
I was hoping you would say that.
We must spill blood together before we drink of it. Of course, raw, Rory. I mean, that way it has the highest chance of disease and rot. And of tasting really terrible. God. The other one was Mehrunes Dagon's quest, which we'll also be doing for this Lorerun. Whoop, whoop, sorry, didn't see you there. There we go. Oops, there we go. Anything nice on you? Eh. Well, hello. Let's see. Seraphim Altaniel? I'm probably screwing that up horribly. Welcome to my live stream. I'm actually about to cut off for the night, but you're more than welcome to join me later. I'll be streaming tomorrow, of course. As I like to say to everyone who pokes their head in here, Shadows, don't be a stranger. Unless you want to, of course. I like chatting and talking and interacting with my viewers. So anyways, Namira is gross, but the main reason I wanted to showcase this quest, in addition to the fact that it's gross, and the fact that Django specifically asked me to, is the fact that this is a Markarth quest, effectively. And that just makes so much sense to me, that of all the people who would be sick and twisted enough in the head to think that this is a good idea, it would be people with frickin' Markarth.
You've done it. The shrine is ours again.
Oh yeah.
Now we need to prepare a grand feast to welcome
A
you.
feast? Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
You will have the honor of bringing a fresh kill for the main course. And I know the perfect person.
I'm sorry, what?
A priest filled with the taste of an easy life. Brother Verilus from Markarth.
Wouldn't that be fatty?
Give him this gold. Tell him you need Arcae's help exploring an old cavern for treasure. And when he stands in Amira's presence, she will take care of the rest. Say hello to Verilus for me.
That's creepy and horrible, but okay, whatever, I suppose. I mean, could be worse, right, guys? Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop, I lost the world. There it is. Oh yeah, rendering is a little bit different in this game, so it's not quite like Oblivion where I could just see where I'm going based on being, being outside the dungeon. So I'm not going to use that trick as often for this particular run. What, you don't want to eat up, Rory? Come on, come on. Don't be a party pooper. Of course we're doing Shea Goroth's quest. We're doing this one, Namira's, Mehrunes Dagon's, Azuro's, Shea Goroth's, and Sanguine's. pretty sure those are the only ones we're doing. Off the top of my head. I have it all written down. Hey, wake up.
Even the dead need company.
I have need of a
provides.
priest in my travels.
You are looking for Arcay's protection while you delve some dank tomb, I take it? My duties keep me busy in Markarth. I don't know if I can help you.
I'm willing to pay.
That's no small amount of coin, friend. I suppose I can come with you for a short venture. Lead on.
Thanks. Come on, buddy. Gonna eat a priest, gonna eat him good. I'm kidding, we're not gonna eat him. At least if I do this right, we're not gonna eat him. I actually don't remember the sequence of events perfectly, but we got this, guys. I mean, I'm tired, and it's been a long day of streaming, and I got this, guys. We're not gonna eat him. I hope. Where am I going? There it is. Alright. Which one was that one, Venters? Unless that one's the Mehrunes Dagon one, in which case I have nothing else to add. Yeah, it's okay to do this. It's okay to eat him. He takes money for a religion. Ooh, there's a lot of blood on the floor and walls and everywhere. Alright, you, and then 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 you. There we go. Yep. Thank you for getting all the followers of Namira all into one spot for me. I appreciate it.
What happened?
I just saved your life. You were this close to being food.
Sweet breath of Arcay. Were these the cannibals that were plaguing the Hall of the Dead?
Uh-huh.
I need to get back to Markarth. Here, take this. It's the least I can do for saving my life.
You're welcome. Now get out of here. So yeah, that's the other way you can do this quest. And now Markarth is free of corrupt guards, the railroad barons, the insane tribalist kings, and the cannibals. I think we've cleaned up Markarth quite a bit, wouldn't you guys agree? I wish we could have done it with a little bit less mass murder, but, you know, whatever, I suppose. Now, just to show it off. Yeah, technically I can't do Molag Bal's quest, I think. That's true, it took me like 30 minutes to clean up Markarth. You coming, dude?
My friend Merrick's. We were hunting, and I thought he was an elk.
That must have been quite a surprise.
Either way, I came back with meat for the table.
Ew.
Who are you? What's going on?
Priest of Arcay. I'm your friend.
You're my... friend?
Yes, I'm your friend, and I've invited you to dinner.
I've been invited to dinner. I'm so hungry.
Why don't you lay down and rest while we get the meal ready?
I need to lay down. I'll just be a minute.
Come with me. Our feast is about to begin.
I don't want to do this, I gotta be honest. But...
Ah, the new disciple. I hear you have quite the appetite.
Yes, lie down right there.
The meal is on Namira's table. Go ahead, carve.
Why do I have to do this? Okay, fine. Food time. There we go.
He looks so sweet. Go ahead.
They all yell about murder. Oh, goody. Nom, nom, nom.
Mortal.
Here we go.
I am Namira, the Lady of Decay. Your consumption of the blood and bile of Arcay's own is pleasing to me. I give you my ring. Wear it, and when you feast on the flesh of the dead, I will grant you my
power.
Thanks, lady.
Wallow in your wretchedness, my newest champion.
Nope. Let me adjust time here really quick. There we go. He's alive. They're all dead. Piss off, Namira. God, the way she says that line has always bothered me. I have remembered that line for years. Because I've only actually done this quest twice, and I just did it the second time. You have savored the blood and bile of one of RK's chosen. It's just like, oh, God, really? You guys know what bile tastes like, right? I'm sure you do. You've probably thrown up at least once in your life. It's not pleasant. That's what I'm trying to say here. Yeah. So anyways. Really? Yeah. God, that is actually grossing me out just thinking about it. I should probably stop doing that. Okay, is anyone left alive who needs to be dead? You're okay, you're okay. Oh, there's a guard. Hang on. Where's my, oh, here it is, here it is. Give me a second, guys. Just one moment, just one moment. Okay, what's your name? Johnny... What's your last name? Come on. Half-sworn, okay. Half-sworn. There we go, perfect. Oh, I'm just jotting it down for no reason. Don't mind me. This is actually not where I wanted to be. I didn't kill anyone. What are you talking about? He had a heart attack. Everyone saw him. He just keeled over dead. Poor guy. I don't have a death note. What are you talking about? I was just taking notes for a journal I have. See this guy over here? Hey.
Let me guess. You need a drink.
I do. I could really use a drink right about now. Thanks. Appreciate it. Anyone else? Hey, guys.
Holmes. I said Holmes, you backbiter. Give a crippled worker a helping hand.
Is that everyone? We cool here? I don't see any silver bloods, and I don't see anything on the guard, so I think we're good. I think we're good. I'll let the citizens live and try to do something with the city in my absence. Everyone cool with that? And if I come back in a year and things are still bad, well, that's what the nuclear options are. Oh my God, there's Dead Man here! I better carry them along with me. I slipped. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on, let me try to pull the other guy up. Okay. I dropped him too. God, I'm sorry. It looks like they died together in a loving embrace. Oh well. So tragic. I'm gonna go ahead and chop off now. Tomorrow we'll be doing more non-main quests. We'll probably just kind of make a route of it, so we'll probably do Sheogorath next. And then Azura. And actually, no, we'll do Sheogorath, then Mehrunes Dagon, then Azura. And then I guess we'll go ahead and check my other quests. I know there's a couple of other side quests I'd like to do. And then we'll go ahead and start doing the guild quests. So, thank you all for joining me. See you guys tomorrow. Whoops. There we go.